We are live as well. Ish.
Kind of live.
Thank you. Kind of live. Hello, everybody. Welcome.
Half-life.
Did you say Catholic?
Half-life.
Half-life. Ooh. Thank you.
We are alive.
Wonderful
we are living
franchise.
beings.
This is a live version to everyone here present. Anyone else listening in ever is definitely not.
I'm actually good with this because now I don't have to introduce shit. You people to start talking. It's great.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you. Welcome to the West of Waterford podcast. And today we have Brittany,
Hi.
Jason,
Yo.
and the inimitable D.
Hello.
And of course, calling from elsewhere. And give me 1 second there, Johnny, because you calling in have made this a little bit difficult. Okay, there we go.
Yeah, you hear that?
Bye-bye music. And Johnny, calling in, how are you?
Not too bad. How are you doing, sir?
About the same as it was the first time we tried this. About 5 minutes ago. I'm not taking any imagination away out of this. I was leaving nothing to the imagination. So
You can blame it on me.
I can blame it on Brittany, the little bee sitting to my right here. How are we, gentlemen and lady?
Good. I'm
Good.
a little sad at your little intro there for D, because you really could have gone straight for the tenacious D, and that would have been perfect.
What did you call
But yeah,
what
missed the opportunity. The inevitable.
What was the
inevitable.
adjective you used?
I said the inimitable.
I don't know what that word
Well, we can't imitate him because that would be, well, apparently in this climate, a hate crime. If we were to imitate him.
That's true.
If we were to inseminate.
Or, oof.
Whoa.
Yo.
That would actually be a miracle of science, is what that would be. If you
Oh,
were able to
careful.
inseminate him.
Again, in this climate, believe in science, a man can be inseminated, apparently. I'm just saying.
Yeah, artificially. I
It's
looked
just
into
a little
it.
bit
It's
of
not natural.
wordplay / making fun of how you were
A
tripping
little
up
bit
on
of
that word.
ball play as well, I'm sure.
Well, welcome to the official rebranding of the Grey Area podcast, which is now known as the West of Waterford podcast.
The West of Waterford podcast.
Yeah,
The
I
WOW
like it. I think
podcast, if
that
you
will-
like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
We're gonna
Ooh, that's
you're gonna
showing
get
your
sued by
influences.
Blizzard so fucking hard.
That is showing me influences.
What? You're gonna
Blizzard
get sued
and
by
Activision.
Blizzard
World of
so
Warcraft.
hard.
Yeah.
World of Warcraft.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a case when they listen to this as, "Whoa, am I really doing this?"
Do they have a trademark for the acronym? That's what I want to know.
Wow, this is
Probably have a
terrible.
It's Blizzard. They're so money hungry. They have to. I don't
True.
Know, bet
That's true. You pair it up with Activision.
any
you get
chance
both.
to get money.
Pointing out what Johnny just said, anybody listen to this, wow, can I take my view back?
Yeah.
Hey, but you know what? Like, there's a Blizzard headquarters in Cork. Like, that's close enough. Maybe
Really?
they'll be respectful.
That is true, actually.
Since you're a Waterford
Why?
lad that...
Why is there a Blizzard office in there?
Well,
Is
believe
really?
it or not, Ireland's, like, huge, like, IT and development.
I know
there.
there's a big indie game scene in Dublin and in Ireland as well, but I
Yeah.
didn't know that any
Yeah.
big.
There's a
AAA
Blizzard
guys.
headquarter in...
I've
in
seen the Blizzard headquarters in Irvine. No, is it Irvine?
For tax reasons,
Right.
big tax reasons,
Oh.
they get huge tax cuts going over to Ireland.
Oh.
Well, yeah. That's like, it's like, Jesus Christ. It was like 21% or something compared to like America's like 40 something.
Really?
Yeah. It was like a 21%.
I thought we didn't tax our companies. That's why Amazon's not paying shit.
No, we tax them, but
Yes.
They just don't pay it.
Yes.
Yeah, that's about right. That's
no,
about
they
normal.
pay it. But I mean, it's a lot of it's through payroll and different other things. Yeah, they get tax breaks, but you know what? They create jobs. So, I mean, look what happened in New York when that dolt AOC decided, oh, fuck Amazon, and then just thousands of jobs were just like instantly lost because Amazon couldn't come into that district because of her.
Oh damn. Yeah.
Yeah, think about the tax revenue that would have created for that district. Think about the jobs,
Millions.
and then
The
Thank you.
stir of economy, as well.
exactly.
Because Amazon employs like a lot, like from the range, like skilled spectrum, anything from factory workers to office corporate jobs.
To the drivers who
Yeah.
delivered these lovely headphones today. These arrived.
But you also have to think as well too. It's not only the employees for that company itself, but everyone else they deal with. Like in terms of like even people who bring like office furniture or equipment or whatever.
Right.
They're
Yeah.
losing money too.
Yeah. So we started off talking about Amazon. That's a great way to go.
Yeah.
Not
Well-
the Amazon. the
Segway, Segue to train crash.
Segue to train crash. Well, maybe there might have been Amazon packages on that, but
Amazon's killing the Amazon. All right, they make all that cardboard with the rainforest. So.
from the all of our boxes freshly sourced from the Amazon.
That's right.
Meanwhile, some poor Greenpeace.
That's
fucker.
why I'm waiting for Everglade to take over. That's the one I'm waiting
Everglades. Open your box. There's an alligator in there.
Oh my god.
It's not what I ordered.
I wouldn't doubt it. Was it a freight train? Like, what kind of train crashed? It was freight, right?
Yeah, so what happened in Tempe yesterday on the 108... That bridge has stood in Tempe for 108 years. It is as old as the state.
I've been in that bridge.
Yeah. I've
Not
been
anymore.
Not anymore.
Well, I mean, the whole bridge didn't collapse. It was the part over the Salado Parkway that collapsed. The bridge actually did have another derailment on it about maybe a couple of months ago, and it was recently as like up until a month ago or a couple of weeks ago at least, it was deemed safe for traffic, heavy rail traffic. We've all seen the trains that come through
Right,
Gilbert,
right. Oh, yeah, they got
Tempe.
shit.
They're fucking huge. They're over a mile long easily.
Yeah.
You know, and there's a lot of them every day. There's maybe 5 or 6 each day.
Oh, you don't have to tell me. Our shop is literally right next to one, and every damn time we try and have an important conversation, we're like, all right, we need to move all this heavy equipment. And then they'll try and play like jingle bells and shit sometimes.
Yeah,
like
Yeah, the first place I lived, because I went to ASU, and so I lived in Tempe. And the first place I lived once I moved out of my family's home, my parents' house, was right next to the train tracks.
Yeah, it was
across
backing
from
onto it.
campus, and you like literally, I could look out my window and like see like the face of like a conductor like in a train. It was like just like
That close,
a football field away from me.
For some reason, he was always doing this as he passed.
yeah.
Yuck.
And
That's why
I
you need a
always-
visual element, by the way.
and he always had some more considerate conductors and some that were either assholes like, okay, if I have to be up at 4 a.m., so do you, and just like blare that horn. And then you have the other ones that would just like kind of go back and go beep beep, like once they know they're passing a residence, and then lay it on.
You make it sound like they're somehow like turning the engine volume down as they're passing.
It wasn't quite.
Yeah, they silent running mode.
Silent running.
Stealth train.
Well,
there's
That's a
movie.
submarine. That's a submarine, not a train.
Whatever. That's just an underwater train.
Both elongated vehicles
But it's very interesting about the
of
bridge
the lateral variety.
collapse. Is shut up.
Britt, were you still talking?
No, it's fine. Doesn't
Fucking
matter.
Okay, I feel bad. I feel
This
like we just-
asshole over
Well,
here.
considering that now, going with the subway thing, a boredom or something, no.
Oh, well, no, that's the thing. The bridge only collapsed over the road, and there was a bunch of lumber cars that caught on fire. And we were just talking about this earlier, Jay, when you got here first. You had no idea that this happened. Neither did I until late on yesterday. So it was of course, you were the one who were like, I knew.
I was surprised that I knew before you, but
Yeah.
that's because I was very
How
randomly
did
yesterday.
you find out?
I was tuned into
Unfortunately, she
NPR
wasn't under it
that
at the time.
morning because I was like toggling.
Oh, it's on NPR. Nice.
Yeah.
I had somebody from out of
Ooh, I
state.
like NPR.
I had somebody from out of state tell me, it's like, "Oh, are you all right?" It's like, what do you mean? Yeah, I'm all right.
Are you all right?
It's like you
Are you all
live, you go to ASU, right? It's like, yeah. It's like you live near Tempe. It's like, yeah. What's so urgent? It's like, oh, I heard there was a big train crash. It's
I
like,
heard the
oh,
train
really?
blew up the city. Like,
I'm sorry, I
So,
don't sleep
so
under
his
the bridge.
impression, he thought you were either sleeping on the train or were you trying to rob him off the train, or what was his impression?
He thought he was
of-
sleeping under the bridge. He's like,
Yeah,
I know
Sorry,
you-
I left my harmonica
You're a
in the
train
train.
conductor.
Yeah, D has a part-time job as a professional troll, so he has to live under a bridge.
Yeah.
I need the shekels so you can get past.
Shackles.
The troll under the bridge.
Yeah.
Oof.
How was your-
You
how was your
need
co-
to
how was
be
your
the
release of
troll
this check
dog.
for that?
Okay.
Answer me these questions
Answer me,
3.
riddle
It's-
boy.
It's just D asking for money 3 times. Like, answer these 3 questions. Can I have $20?
Money.
You want to give me money?
Can I have $10?
Can I have
Oh,
15?
what's with the
Please,
Jewish
all right,
voice on
all
But
that?
he said shekels.
I meant that
I
as
was
a
thinking of, like-
generalization of just,
I was thinking of, like,
gold coins.
I
old-timey
bet you
currency,
did, but you
not
didn't use rubles, did you? You went straight for the shekels.
Rubles. Rupees?
No,
Rupees.
rubles.
I need some rupees.
Hey, just because they don't have coins in America anymore now doesn't mean you have to come up with language like that.
Yeah, what the hell is up with that, by the way? The national coin shortage.
I don't know, but
What?
I'm
What?
guilty because I've collected quite a few quarters over the last like 2 years.
Oh, that's
I've got like 12.
So that's why we're
$12.
having it. Assholes like
it's my
us hoarding
$12
it.
worth of quarters.
Well,
yeah.
I mean, you do realize that like modern day finance is literally just numbers in a screen. There's really no physical. I mean, to some extent, yeah, you have some physical currency to back that up, but majority of the times, you're buying and you're getting your money from your job. It's really just numbers on the screen.
Right. That's
That's
what
crazy.
Bitcoin is.
What do we call?
something.
What do we call
Yeah,
this?
cryptocurrency.
I'm a firm
Slave
believer.
owner. That's what that is.
It's honest Abe.
It's Abraham
How
Lincoln.
honest was he? All right, if we could go back there and ask us.
Well, like it or
Well, he
not,
was
he's the reason there are
closeted.
no slave owners
I know.
anymore. So, slave owner.
Just
He
for
freed
context,
them!
Josh pulled out a.
I think he's honestly the one that's on 2.
He pulled out a $5
He's on the
bill.
penny and he's on the note too, right? He's on a.
I'm sorry,
Is
say
it a 5 or whatever he's on?
Yeah, he's on.
Yeah,
five,
yeah, I pulled out a $5 bill.
How
Okay,
long
but
have you
then we
been
also-
living in
I think he's-
America?
But he's the only one on 2, right?
Yeah, he's on a penny too, which is like almost insulting.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh,
Yeah.
he's on a penny as well.
Yeah.
Damn.
What? No, you didn't. You serious?
Okay.
I don't use
The
coins.
memorial's on the back of it too. It used to
Technically,
be.
okay, you haven't. You've lived in the States the least out of all of us here.
I've been in and out of the country ever since I was a kid.
Okay.
But having moved here like a couple of years ago,
is
it still confuses me what the fuck a nickel is or a dime. Like I get the numerical like worth wrong. Like is this like 5 cents? Like no, you idiot. That's
Yeah. It seems weird.
Well, you
'cause
see,
our-
over
were?
here too, it's funny because usually, like in Europe and stuff, the size of the coin is like
Yeah.
goes by the denomination.
yeah,
So
yeah.
usually,
The
the
dime's
bigger the
smaller.
worth, it's bigger. So like your dime and your nickel should be reversed in terms of sizes, right?
I've
That's how the mentality
kind
would
of
be
grown.
over. Like,
I've kind of grown to like the fact that all the bills are all the same color.
Green.
Yeah, I mean, I used to hate it because I think overseas you have this color is 100, this color is 50, but
This
I don't know.
color.
Well, it's not even the color. Like at least like with the euro, it's like the size of the bill as well.
Sizes,
The size of
yeah.
the note
They make
changes.
them larger.
They're always the gayest colors too. It's like goldenrod, purple,
Goldenrod,
pink.
what the fuck is
like-
goldenrod?
Going
A €50 bill in Europe is kind of a goldenrodish color.
gold, orange color.
Yeah,
Kind of like the
goldenrod.
Well, you can't see it.
But that's what I mean. That's
that
a very
sounds,
Kinda like
that sounds
that
like a really
poster
bad
up
name
there.
for a porno,
The
right?
dream.
I know, right?
Goldenrod.
Goldenrod.
Yeah.
Is that your
Old James Bond parody? Like-
Goldfinger and
Flash
goldenrod?
Gordon
No,
goldenrod. I love it. Hey, Goldfinger, finger my gold rod.
Welcome, Mr. Bond.
So
Mr.
you
Bond,
expect
you're
me?
going
You
to
expect
die.
me to talk? No, Mr. Bond. I expect you to get fucked by my goldenrod.
I expect you to cry. That's what I like.
I expect you to be very sore tomorrow.
Every James Bond movie from then on just ends like a Batman fucking TV show. How will 007 get out of this one?
Yeah.
Tune in next week. Same cue, place, same cue channel.
Yeah.
No, you gotta have the flashcard
Meanwhile, back in
transitions
Whitehall, London,
with the logo that just like
Yeah.
spins to the front of the camera.
Back in Whitehall, London.
Hey, the Canadians have waterproof money. So,
The Canadians.
put that out there.
The Canadians are the worst superpower on the
very
planet.
wet
I don't
there.
give a shit what they have. They have maple syrup. We don't talk. You know what they have? Do you know what they have in
trees.
Canada? In Canada, they have
lots of trees.
a lot of trees, a small belt of semi-livable cities, and then nothingness. Nothingness to
And
the
Wayne
north.
Gretzky, that's it.
Bears.
So kind of like Australia, where everybody lives on the east and west coast, and that's it. There's
Yeah.
nothing in between.
Yeah.
There's nothing in the outback. Maybe Tasmania, but we don't talk about that.
That's not even in the outback. That's its
a
own
separate
separate
island.
goddamn island.
Yeah, but I'm talking about like in the middle. You know?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like
Yeah,
places
there's nothing there.
places are worth Western Australia and
In
Eastern
the
Australia.
what is it?
Yeah,
The
it's
South
true.
Territories, the middle. Was it North Territories, and then like the
Queensland.
yeah.
I don't know. I've never been there. I've never had any desire to go to Australia.
Josh doesn't like Australia.
It's funny how like the name is though, because like it's literally like South Territories. It's like the northern, like North Australia, like
New South
Western.
Wales, yeah.
It's like, and then there's like the actual names where you can tell like the British kind of decided like we're gonna set up shop here. This one's like New Queensland and stuff like that.
Well,
And
yeah. I mean, it was much easier
Because they were
than.
very
And then the rest of it, like,
inventive
what's
in their
back there? Like,
names,
oh, a
especially
bunch of
when they
shit.
come
We're not
over
even gonna
America,
name it.
They're the same. Like
Say again, Johnny.
I said, that the English are always very inventive when they come over to a place like New England.
Yeah.
And a lot of
What
You
was
know,
that?
like, and we left from Plymouth
so-
and we landed in Plymouth.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
What about the rest of it? Just take it from the natives and name it after one of them. Who gives a shit?
Well, we know why you're not interested in visiting Australia, because that's where all the bad eggs went from Ireland. So why would you want to? Why would you want to go to see your evil twin over in Australia?
I really do not want to meet an Australian Josh. I can just imagine you being a bogan and like fucking like mangy up somewhere and like, you know, fucking like South WA.
Now here's
You
the
know,
thing. When
3
you're,
hours from Perth, it's like, oh yeah, fucking mate, yeah, fucking you.
It's just an
Oh,
angry
yeah, me
version of
fucking-
Josh, and he owns a bunch of snakes and like spiders. You're like, oh god.
He's got his own Australian podcast. It's like, oh yeah, fucking man, welcome to the fucking Mangia podcast.
But no. But the funny thing is, he'd be talking about Australian politics. That'd be it. Like, that'd be the funnier thing about it.
yeah, did you see the Prime Minister? Mr. Prime Minister!
Ah, fucking scum, mate.
Oi, Gary!
No, it's funny. Though. I love Australia. I have a lot of friends and family down there. So.
Good cover. Good
I've-
cover.
I've-
Anybody
Well,
from
see,
Australia
Josh-
that listens to this, we definitely lost that
I
demographic.
No, that's the sad part, is that Josh does have family there.
anybody from
I mean,
Mangiam, what's up?
I mean, everybody.
They're not listening, D.
You never know.
You're not supposed to tell him that. They're on a witness protection program. They're not supposed to know that.
Well, they're not listening yet.
Yeah.
Until we
Yeah.
upload this.
It's in the
And-
future.
Your inbred cousins live in Australia, right?
Jesus Christ,
Oh,
they're
Jesus.
not inbred, they're just retarded.
I keep trying to tell you. No, but really, I would like to visit Australia.
I
and
wanna
I have
visit.
had a chance.
You've been there.
Well, you've
I've
been there.
been there,
You've been
yeah.
there, yeah.
Yeah.
But I'd like the
To go
opportunity
again?
I'll go.
I like traveling.
I'll go with you, Britt. I want to go to Australia really
Yeah.
bad.
Are you offering to take my wife on a whirlwind
Yeah, let's go.
trip down under?
Worldwide.
Jeez. Well, when you
Yeah.
say it like that, Josh.
The thunder down
cut.
under.
Jesus.
But no, when I was a satellite controller, we'd sometimes have to talk to some of the Aussies. And
Did you talk to him
it
like
was-
this? Satellite control to Major Tom.
No, I
Oh,
should have.
you
but
should have,
no.
yeah.
But they'd always end up calling in. They'd like try to access the satellite with their equipment, and they're like, "Oh yeah, this is like bloke fucking blah 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 down here at some station in like in Queensland." And I was like, "Oh damn, it's one of the Aussie guys," and I'd be all excited, and we'd like listen into them. And they're like, "Yeah, we're trying to
Satellite
transmit up to
controller
the
to
bid,
golden
and
rod.
we just
Satellite
can't."
controller to goldenrod.
Yeah, to
Goldenrod. Goldenrod 1. How copy over?
You were saying?
Yeah.
Sorry?
They're like, yeah, we're trying to transmit to the bid there, and we just can't get a signal loaded, and we just wonder if you guys could help us out, yeah? And we're like, yeah, we just. What's your frequency set to? And we'd help them out and everything, and then they'd always be like, "Oh yeah, we're all good now, mate. Appreciate it. Cheers. Have one on us." And I was just like, "This sounds awesome. I want to go party with these guys."
Gary,
Like, it sounds
Aussies
the
party
way they
really
talk
hard, yeah.
just sounds like they're always having a beer in hand.
Because
Like,
they
at
are.
work
Because
and
they're always
everything.
having a pint in their hand. Yes, this is so true.
Send me, man.
Have one on
I'm
us,
good.
mate. Go to the Outback Steakhouse and have a blooming onion.
Yeah.
It's like, ugh.
Outback Steakhouse is not Australian food.
Yeah, we know-
I'll put,
yeah.
put that out. The same thing as PF Chang's is not Chinese food. No Panda Express.
Panda Express isn't.
So actually, Josh's cousins, they're not inbred. They're just drunk all the time. That's basically what you're saying.
No,
They-
no.
they
How
look
is
like
that
they're
any
retarded.
different than
That's pretty
Ireland,
much it.
though?
No,
honestly?
How's that any
we've
different
all-
than Josh?
we've shut up, Jesus! You're a guest here.
If there's anything that's inbred, it's definitely like Islanders, because I've noticed Islanders have like a million different cousins, and I don't understand how their families stay separated.
No. If there's
had a
one
few-
thing that's inbred, it's sourdough.
What?
Thank you.
So you guys want to go like grab a beer somewhere? Like I'm done with this.
Hit the bell. Hit the bell. Hit the bell.
Did you just make
You just
a bread
Yeah.
pun?
that was definitely
Talking about derailing.
Oh, that was so good.
it all ties together.
Not really.
So-
It's
I
called,
know, it was
it's called a
supposed
dad
to be.
joke.
Yeah.
That's exactly what they
Didn't
call
you-
a dad joke, right?
You should have
there.
all
That's the
known what was
definition of a
coming.
dad
Can we
joke.
move past this, please?
You should have all known what was coming. You saw me reaching for the
Australia
soundboard.
is cool. Australians are cool. Okay, moving forward. Let's
Yeah.
go.
Moving
Yeah.
forward. No. That's what they called it when they went on the slave ships to Australia. This is moving forward. Ugh. No, it's not. Look at you now. You poor fucks.
Did you ever hear about the inadvertently racist ad that they had with the KFC?
I've seen that.
Oh,
yeah,
yes.
because
Too
it's
easy.
It's not a stereotype.
easy.
Yeah, it's not a stereotype for a certain people to love fried chicken. So he's just surrounded by all these fans in the stands, and he just has a bucket of chicken, right? And they all come around and too easy, yeah.
Well, I mean, like the whole premise was that he couldn't see over them. They were all like.
Oh
in front
right,
of him.
yeah. I don't know. To get him out of his
was
way,
it
right?
Kiwis?
It was a funny joke.
It was either that or I can't remember.
But they just didn't. They didn't. That's not a racist stereotype.
Australians don't give a shit when it comes to their sense. I mean, do you remember?
I mean, you see it in
No,
Asia.
but they didn't. They had no.
You see it in Asia all the time, you know, like where, like, you know, when you're darker, you know, you'll buy like whitening cream, or you know, you shove people in the washing machine and they pop up, you know, white.
Yeah, I heard that's a big thing over
the
there.
standard of beauty, you know, the lighter skin that you have, the less you spend time outside, I suppose, and so your skin is clear and clean.
Yeah,
you know, for
that's
all the bad rap white people get, it seems to be a standard of beauty over here too. Because has anybody ever noticed that Beyonce has gotten noticeably whiter as the years have gone on? She's actively bleaching her skin.
There's rumors that she's been bleaching her skin.
So, like, it's like, I'm proud to be, and then it's like, meanwhile, it's like, I don't want to be white. It's like, come
she's
on.
burning the melanin like right out. Like,
well, it's weird because
So that Jay-Z is sucking it out.
it's not so much a fad now because people know what skin cancer is, but it used to be, you know, like in our previous generation, like getting very tan, like white people getting really, really tan.
Oh, like George Lopez.
Or orange.
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 Or orange.
I don't really think it's really in a sense of like being white as in Caucasian. I think it's just a sense of being light, as in literally having a lighter skin tone.
Well, that kind of goes back to like a beauty standard, like back in like.
well, that's like what Dee was saying. Like if you had
But even in Japan
paler
and
skin and stuff
like that,
back
if
in
you were
those.
out in the fields working, therefore you'd be lighter toned. You'd be indoors all day, being
It would
waited
show.
on.
So the royalty and stuff, they were all very pale and.
Yeah, like you look back at like, I don't know, like old.
Just imagine a bunch of boatsmen. Go on. Sorry.
Yeah, you go back to like times like royalty and like Victorian times or before that even, like Renaissance era.
Yeah,
like
interesting.
They're very like pasty white portrayed in there.
Obesity was also kind of like a
Yeah, because you were well fed.
attract thing.
Well,
yeah, they were
yeah.
like, oh, this
Yeah.
person's never had to go hungry a day in their life. Like they must have money and like shit. So
Well, yeah, obesity is like, I mean,
now it's the complete opposite. It's like, look at this fuck who just
Yeah,
does
if
nothing
you're
all day. You
fat-
sit in your room.
I was just gonna say, if you're fat, pasty fuck, you probably live in your mother's basement. And,
It's got you're not wealthy at all. You're a
and you
has-been.
probably
It's
have
called
Cheeto
Henry
dust
VIII.
all over your fingers.
Can I just say, hey man, if you're like well fed and you're living on your mother's basement rent free, that's a pretty that's a hard to sustain lifestyle.
Well, now we've kind of
it's
gotten to that
hard
age
to
where
sustain because you're living in a basement and every now and then you have to go upstairs and you're a fat fuck. I mean,
you got no income if you're not working. You gotta buy all the food somewhere. You gotta go buy all your games.
I don't understand.
That's a lot of electricity.
This is one of
throw
the
games
greatest
into that
things in life to me is that like
I wish I could live like that.
it's always the fat fucks who are shouting capitalism is bad. Clearly it's not. You're clearly not starving.
I mean, you have the keyboard warriors. You know, they're on their 4chan Reddit. You know.
yeah, they're not outside
Or they're the
actually,
ones-
like with the
or
pickets. They're on the
they're the ones
web.
standing there who are like, wear the mask, wear a mask, you're gonna, and they're like 300 bills with the McDonald's thing in front of them in the wheelchair, obese, like, right?
Well, you have to exert
checking my
energy
life
with a
and
wheelchair.
doing this,
They
like-
got the scooters.
And the
Scooters
obesity
are on
Mac,
me.
please.
Oh my god,
Rascals.
the scooters are such an American thing, and I love it.
I hate him.
Because you just see it on Walmart, and they just scoot around.
No shame,
They have,
dude.
like, a
They're
little
totally
basket.
fine with it.
They
Oh, they're
run-
rolling. They're rolling.
They run.
Fucking send
They
it.
run you over in the fucking aisle. I have had my foot nearly run over by about 6 or 7 of them.
Rolling.
Six is what were they in a convoy?
There's,
Yeah, dude. If you go to Walmart here in
caravan?
America, yeah,
We
there's
got
gonna
a
be bunch of
fat ass
them.
convoy rolling down the aisle.
yeah, let me just like set a scene of like the kind of people you see in those things. It's where they have their hands up on the wheel, and yet just imagine this old white
no.
woman with that fold of skin from
Oh
her
my God,
arms
the tricep
just
bag,
drooping down
yeah.
like over her fat thighs, and she's spread out like 3 times the size of the seat.
The double chin.
And then she's got this huge, like, bearded dragon on her shoulder, and she's in Walmart of all
We're in the
places,
Australian
right?
Walmart now.
No, that's a real thing I've seen.
Oh my god, yeah.
You're a dragon.
And she's like, "Look at my dragon. He's beautiful. He's
Like,
cute."
bitch, that's an iguana.
Just be thankful she wasn't asking to look at something else that might be, well, very clearly bearded that she hasn't seen in a long time.
Oof.
There you
Yeah,
go.
but you're expecting her to get out of the chair and then she has like bat wings or something. They got like big flabby things
Yeah.
underneath her. And
She's like-
it's
It reminds me of the people from
But people in 500 BC were like, dude,
WALL-E.
that chick's hot.
Wally.
Oh yeah,
Like
I
the
was just
movie
thinking.
WALL-E?
That image went in my head too.
Never
Is
seen
that
it.
someday?
Dude, it's a scary glimpse in the future. Like,
Yeah.
we're not far behind humanity.
Yeah.
I still think
you know how much
Idiocracy is.
you know how much junk is in space. Like funny enough.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
the first scene, I love it when it's coming in and they're playing Hello Dolly, and it's
Yeah.
just the orbit of all of our space trash. It's just like thousands and thousands of satellites and crap, and I'm like,
Oh, yeah.
'Cause
I mean-
you mentioned you worked with satellites, right?
yeah,
So, yeah.
And
so
I just
I'm
know
sure
whenever we're
you're
done with
aware.
them, we just push them into orbit.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, it's about to run out of fuel. All the transponders are dead. The amps are burning up. And they're just like, push it halfway to the moon. It's fine. It'll just float
bad
around.
enough like that we pollute the rivers, the seas, the oceans, the earth, the whole lot, but we got to put out the space as well.
Oh, it's-
you know?
fuck
It's
yeah,
like,
we own
and
all
let
of it.
everyone
I mean-
know we're the big.
Humanity owns all the universe, so it's our right to trash it all.
To be honest,
It's a huge issue. It's a huge upcoming issue too, especially as you know you're more countries are having their space programs and all that stuff. They're sending more shit up there and just the proper. That's why SpaceX is like the really big thing with reusable,
Yeah.
Yeah.
low orbit stuff.
Yeah.
Like re-entry.
That will come back.
Because I mean, like what do you do with satellites when they're done? You know, you just either
well, I mean, that was
toss
the
them into
space.
orbit or-
That was the whole thing with the space shuttle. The whole thing was supposed to be 100% re-entry. I mean,
Yeah.
the boosters would come off. The boosters would come off before
Are you talking about the space shuttle?
the space
When
shuttle,
they
like the
launch,
Challenger.
yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't think any of that is still in space, really, except for the one that burnt up.
They all fall back into the
Yeah.
Yeah, they all fall back,
into
and
the
then
thing.
the actual shuttle itself would come back. So
Yeah,
that
it
was
can
probably the least invasive. But here's a question for you: who cares? Space is infinite, and anything that's
Yeah, but we're
orbiting
talking
our
about
Earth.
we're talking about our space.
Yes, but our orbit. I mean, if what's the worst that can happen? All that space trash comes back to Earth. It burns up.
You do realize you need to break atmospheric
Yeah.
barriers to
It's,
leave
it's making things
Earth.
more difficult for space exploration because, like,
All right,
pretty
let's
soon that
send a
debris
space bulldozer up there and let's just.
So it's funny you mentioned that.
if only we
Japan,
could.
We could
Japan
do that.
tried
You just
doing-
like send
Japan
them.
are trying to do this.
Send up there with a big
tried
push broom.
yeah. Well, that's the whole thing. We always made a joke about Trump's space force he's trying to develop. It's
gonna be big, it's gonna be beautiful.
Anyone who's been in the military knows your first job in the military is a fucking janitor. So everyone
That's
thinks they're
what
going to be
space-
shooting aliens and shit as space, but really you're just being up there picking up trash
Have
and
you-
doing a fucking detail cleaning of
Are
random
you-
shit.
Are any
I
of
can
you
see
guys?
that.
I kind
are
of
any-
want to take back my "who cares" statement because I mean I actually do care, but at the same time, it doesn't seem like. I mean, look, none of this seems incredibly relevant to me. When you talk about climate change, I'm like, climate's always changing. It's not man-made to this to the extent it's being made out to be, and stuff in space. What's it doing? It's literally going around the world, you know, like Daft Punk, and. That's it.
Wonderful track.
And what's it going to do? Who's it hurting? Do you think there's going to be like National Lampoon style, Clark Griswold style alien family go like, hey kids, look at that world. And then something hits the window, roll them up. You know, it's like,
I still
I
think-
it's like
really-
we're
I
not
still
going
think
there
a
because
big
it's a
issue.
trashy place. Good, don't come here. I don't want aliens
But
coming
you see,
down here.
you have
What
to
the-
remember as well now too. There's a lot of those like that are actually still in orbiting around the Earth.
I know.
So every so often they get to a point where they get very close to an actual
There's a shit
active
ton of
satellite.
inactive satellites around in orbit.
Nah, we can
So-
always build more satellites. It's called capitalism.
I'd
So
like to
the-
kind of argue. I think it's a big issue that needs to be
Yeah.
addressed.
No, I know.
It's an issue. I don't think it's big.
Those don't really re-enter once you
Not
get
yet.
to about 22,000 miles away. The orbital position is the same as Earth's rotational speed. So once you get farther away than that, it actually the gravity becomes less affected. So it's just gonna kind of stay in that orbit for
All of it
thousands
down
of
to
years.
infinity.
Yeah.
Unless it starts
That's like
shearing off
they should
into
design.
space.
So it's
they
kind
sh-
of
they should actually design some sort of a machine or something that can actually gather all that, like a
Yeah.
giant net or something, and
I
put
had
it
a,
up to like a
Giant
station
net.
or something and
I
Okay,
had-
this isn't most dangerous catch.
So what I was saying,
Net.
what I was
I
saying
had a-
earlier was
sorry, go ahead.
Japan. They tried developing satellites that can actually like grab those other satellites that are broken down and retrieve them, and then they can like kind of recycle them, take all the reusable parts
glue
and
together.
take all the,
the
necessary components.
The material science.
But then
for it's
a lot of
reusable,
people bitched about it. Countries were like, well, that's like, we're not going to let you do that. And they were like, well, why not?
Yeah.
They're like, well, then you're going to get a hold of like all of our technology that we've been trying to send up there for these satellites. Or then you could potentially turn it into a weapon, as somebody thought, where those could go grab active satellites and then just drag them away.
which is kind of
Like,
valid. You know,
yeah.
the point is valid.
Well, I
Which is
mean-
like the old school Donkey Kong move from Super Smash Bros. If anyone played it, where you could just grab them and jump off the edge of the map and just kill somebody with yourself.
Well, that just sounds like how, like, basically, yeah, you could end up being like, we just made a planet of trash, and it's heading towards Earth. Like,
I think that was a Futurama episode.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
I could look at that now, like in terms of like rebuilding like friendships and stuff. Like, I mean, realistically, the two biggest ones would have been Russia and America, essentially sending up stuff, right? So they should really have like a giant venture where they build some machine or something. We take all this out and we can just break it down to the basic parts, so you don't get anything security-wise, whatever to be.
this was yours. Here,
And they're still cleaning up the thing, you know.
Well, Russia and US have been
Just
trying
write
to do a lot of
property
joint
of whoever.
operations. I mean, you have the ISS. You know, a lot of US astronauts and mission
The
specialists
ISIS.
need to learn how to read Cyrillic, because a lot of the systems on board are written in Cyrillic, and working with Russian cosmonauts.
Yeah.
But a really big future problem isn't necessarily just the debris itself, but micro debris. It's not like we're Star Trek. We have shields
Yeah.
on our aircraft.
It's like a socket off of a wrench, or like
Oh,
ratchet
yeah,
that could definitely just like punch right through.
Imagine that being propelled.
Yeah, well, I mean, all you have to think about there,
30,000 miles per hour.
the opening scene of Gravity. I think it's
Yeah.
probably the best kind of
Hello.
like your.
Newton's laws of motion.
I know, yeah, but the best visual representation I've ever gotten that is Gravity. The
Yeah.
opening scene of Gravity when the space junk does hit the shuttle. Because at that moment, I think you're thinking, it's just, it's going around
all
space.
drifting.
No, that shit was shot off at like 2,800 miles an hour at one point in
Well, yeah,
its
'cause there's
its
nothing- there's
existence.
nothing in space
and there's
to
nothing to
stop.
slow
Yeah.
it down.
It
If
just
anything,
picks up momentum.
it might even speed up.
It does.
Because it'll probably just hit other junk hitting that speed, and now you've got this like inertia collision, which is going to send something off faster.
Yeah. As
and
it
the
gets
other thing will just-
closer, as it gets
But
closer.
basically, you're playing a space version of Frogger.
Frog.
You know, you're trying
That's
to
a
see-
classic right
You know
there.
what I mean? Like, everyone's going to get hit if you don't cross this area without getting hit with something coming at you.
Right.
There's another video game I thought of while we were talking about this, and we were mentioning like Space Stranders. Have you guys ever played or are familiar with the old
Space
Sierra
Quest.
game Space Quest?
Yep.
Because
Oh,
like
yeah,
what's his
yeah,
name?
yeah.
What's his name? Like Buck.
Buck Rogers? No.
Rogers. Isn't that
Buck
it?
Rogers?
I don't think it was it Buck
Roger
Rogers?
Wilco?
Roger Wilco.
Yeah, Roger
Mr.
Wilco's
Rogers?
Space
Is he like he just kind of
the orbit.
he just like stumbles into all these like misadventures because he happened to the first space quest he survives. He's the only survivor on his shuttle because he was sleeping in the broom closet because he's a janitor. So he just moves up these ranks like on accident.
It's a bit like Red Dwarf that way. Actually, there's an English show, but it's a similar kind of an idea.
I remember
He's
that
in
one.
cryogenics and everyone else dies on the ship.
Right.
Idiocracy.
Anyway,
That's a similar
another thing I thought of though, Josh, is that maybe in the future you can rephrase your saying like, why should I care? Tell me why
Yeah,
I should care.
no,
Instead of just be like,
I don't
Who
give a
cares?
shit.
Change my view.
Well,
change my stance.
Be a little bit-
change my mind.
Provide a counter argument.
Because
I think you provided a good counter argument. In fairness, and of course you did bring me thinking back of Gravity. Yeah, of course.
like how do you dodge micro debris?
Micro debris, you really
Well, you
can't.
don't.
You
I
kinda
guess
can't monitor it either.
you don't. You kind of get wiped out by it if it happens to be
I
in your
wanna look
vicinity.
into that,
How do you
though,
track it?
but-
Is more my question. How would you track it and know where it is at all times?
It's
It's
pretty
junk.
difficult. You have to like calculate. There's just a shitload of math for every single object. Because there's like an actual NASA program that basically like uses sonar to it. But the thing is like the trash a
space
lot of times.
sanitation team.
A lot of times the trash is like traveling so quickly they have to kind of predict where it's going to be
That's
when
true.
they get that signal
Yeah,
back.
absolutely.
So it's just a
Almost.
I
like
always like when
engineering
he uses like
accomplishment.
technical terms like shitload of math. That's awesome.
A shitload of math.
yeah, metric if you're anywhere else in the world. It's a very metric shitload.
You see, the thing is, I'm sitting around like at least in this
yeah.
room, like when it comes to mechanical engineering, two very mechanical engineering style minds who know about this shit. It's actually kind of interesting to hear like. And me just being a big dumb dope who just wants to make dick jokes every 5 minutes.
Yeah, that's right.
What'd you
You
say to me?
You can just say you're
Yes, goldenrod.
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 Da 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 da.
just you can just try and convince the audience that you're playing to the whole like I'm playing to the
common
whole
man.
devil's advocate, or the fact that like please please inform our audience about this. I mean, I
Well,
know what you're
sometimes,
talking
yeah.
about.
You kind of look at like the layman's
Yeah,
view.
the
Like,
layman's
I'm not really
link.
up with the technology.
Well,
Explain it to me.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. There's a lot of things I know about, but I know very little about a lot. So I can hold a conversation about pretty much anything. Doesn't mean I know a lot about everything, or
I think it's just being open to conversation and
I'm very-
understanding stuff you don't understand. It's like, hey, I don't understand
Exactly.
this. How does this work? I'd like to know.
And I'm very open to, like, as you said, like, change my mind. I'm very open to
Well,
sitting down.
provide a suitable counter argument. You know why you think that this is X, Y, Z.
Yeah,
there's-
you can't just show up to a debate and be like, "I'm right, he's wrong. Fuck you, I'm out."
I don't like the way you look. You know? Have a
Yeah.
deal.
Yeah, I don't like the way.
That's a very Soviet way to look at it. I'm right, you're wrong.
I'm out, and I'm gonna kill you after.
Yeah.
I wish the
You're gonna
world was that black and white.
Yeah, and where are the Soviets now? Think about that. So speaking of podcasts,
Oh, you should rename it to Goldenrod. I think that would be a suitable name.
That'd be an awesome name.
Welcome to the Goldenrod
I was
podcast.
actually going to suggest it, but actually that's awesome.
And then you can
The Golden Rod Pod, yeah.
make like a logo out of the microphone that you got there.
A,
the gold one, like
a gigantic golden cock pointed at my mouth. Is
Very
that what you're looking
And
at?
then you,
Oh my god.
no,
Great.
you could basically have what is it? Rush Limbaugh has the gold version of your
Yeah,
microphone.
here's the gold version of my microphone.
Yeah, add some
and then you
bangs.
can call it
But
the GRP.
The
Is your
GRP.
Golden Rod Podcast.
Dude.
GRP.
I like that.
Perfect.
There is a.
That would be such a confusing title for people to be like, what is this
GRP?
about?
GRP.
Hi, I'm in the adult video entertainment industry, and we're gonna tell you all
Welcome
about
to
how I
GRP.
fluff.
Get raped periodically?
Yeah,
What?
Jesus.
Welcome to AVN.
AVN.
There's a show on Hulu called Dave, and for anybody who's ever heard of his songs, it's about this rapper named Lil Dicky.
Oh yes,
He's like an
Little
actual,
Dicky.
He's an actual
Yes.
like artist, kind of rapper, and he's
I
made a
know who he
TV show
is.
named Dave. And
Britt-
there's like one episode where he decides to try and get a logo going for himself, Lil Dicky,
Lil
and he
Dicky.
tries to get it like out of dicks. So he's got this chick that's making all these logos for him, and she's like showing him all these ones. It's like
That's great.
phallic penises,
Phallic
erect ones and stuff.
Let me show you my
and
most.
she just made this just
Let me, sh-
plethora of.
let me show you my most phallic piece. I call this one
Great.
cock and balls.
No, the other day Dee was over and we were
Did
watching.
you ask Jason for that, by the way?
No, you can.
Oh, what? It's
I'm
my
kid-
coaster.
No,
Wait,
the
what?
beer. This
Oh,
might be- I brought the
you
beer.
brought the beer.
It's
I
my
asked.
coaster.
I asked.
Oh, I'm
I asked
sorry,
Dee. I asked Dee to pick some up, and he just ignored my message. Apparently.
Sorry, I didn't get that transmission.
Anyway, back to dicks.
That's why this is Dee's last time doing the podcast.
Back,
Yes.
back to
It was nice having you, Dee.
Shit.
back to the whole dick discussion.
Go back to your A.
Yes, back to the dicks. Britt's very on focus here, you know.
GRP. GRP in the house.
So Dee was actually over here the other day, and we were watching some Dave Lando stand up, and he told his whole
Dave is
story.
great.
He told a whole story about how he drove one of his teachers insane to a breaking point
Right,
because for
right.
months he was drawing dicks all over the classroom, and she it broke her down.
Well, she couldn't believe it was just the work of one student.
Yeah.
There's so many
She-
dicks. This can't just be from one guy.
Yeah. Because I think in the breakdown was when she went to take the projector down, and he had in permanent marker destroyed the projection screen, and she just breaks down and goes, "Who is the penis master?"
Immortalized him,
Yeah.
basically.
Are you
The
the
penis
penis master?
That's like some school legend right there.
Right? That's gotta live down in like.
There's
April
some meme I saw of like a teacher is like erasing a drawing of a cat.
there.
And the dry erase is like the cat features, but then once he erases it, it's a dick.
Oh, so
I've
you
seen
draw
that.
the
Like a
dick like with a
giant
permanent
Yeah,
permanent
marker.
dicks with
marker
permanent, and then
on
they
the
try erase the
whiteboard.
cat around it. I've
Yeah.
seen that.
Yeah, that's clever.
It's
clever.
very clever.
Ingenious.
See,
So they put a pussy with a dick. Okay. That's
Well said. Well said.
Yeah, it's a good thing Josh didn't hit that one. Best one of the
my
day.
What did I miss?
my head just went to somewhere like really really dark because of that.
Because Josh came back.
No,
Yeah, that's
the whole
understandable.
pussy and a dick thing.
Pussy and a dick.
Oh man.
It sounds like a Broadway musical.
No, I can't remember which serial killer. It was Ed Gein. How do you say it?
Ed
Sorry.
Gay.
Ed Gein.
I don't know.
He was like a grave robber, right? And he would actually take a lot, and he had a collection of body parts.
Yeah.
And I think he was like, he did want to be a woman, so he kind of does have the whole like, kind of the bad guy in Silence of the Lamb thing going on.
Jane
Definitely an
Gum.
inspiration for like Leatherface and stuff like that.
Oh.
You
So
broke me.
again, he actually had like a shoebox full of vaginas. Like he just like cut off like the pubic area of a woman, and he would just rest it. He just like unfold it like over his dick, so it looked like he had a vagina. That made him
Jesus.
happy.
That made him happy, huh? He
Yeah.
couldn't have just fucked a vagina.
Because
and-
he did. He made a woman's suit. Like he made a suit and everything.
Oh yeah, I heard about that. Those guys.
Well, we just asked the Disney contract. Just letting you know.
All right, I'm okay with that.
Sorry, I listen. One of the podcasts I listen to a lot is Last Podcast on the Left, and it's all about true crime and
Yeah.
Just
serial killers and shit like that. And
If I were to ask everybody here, who is their favorite serial killer?
Are you looking for tips?
You're looking for tips.
Well,
Comment emojis.
penis tips,
Yeah.
I really.
Goldenrod tips.
goldenrod tips.
If you're looking for tips how to get away with it, ask Johnny's wife. I'm sure she's got a composed list.
Whoa.
We've made many jokes. Melissa.
Arsenic.
Yeah.
Arsenic is the way to go.
Yeah.
Only arseholes use arsenic.
Murder by numbers. 1, 2, 3.
Nick's arse. Oof. Okay, I'll do.
No, that seems like such a weird question. Who's your favorite serial killer?
Well, I mean, mine has to be probably.
I don't have one.
I like Charles Whitman.
I'd be like, who's your favorite racist out there? Like that's seems
Oh,
like a weird thing.
Who's your
to-
favorite despicable human
Who's
being?
your
Yeah.
favorite dictator?
Oh well, actually, that has.
I'd say my favorite serial killer was Gerard, my youngest brother, because like he could get rid of a whole box of fucking Rice Krispies.
Oh yeah, there we go. Yes,
That
I like that.
Suddenly
That's
turned wholesome.
Yeah.
I like that.
Very wholesome, yeah. And
life.
full of vitamins,
Just
apparently.
killing the shit out of a box of life. That's
No, that is a weird.
coming around.
That is a
Double
really.
pun.
That is a really funny way to put it. What's your favorite serial killer? I mean,
Oh, I get it. Cereal. Because cereal the food.
Oh,
Like, what?
Took you a minute.
it took.
Cereal,
Okay,
yo.
I forgot the
He's
question.
got to
was
actively
serial
translate
killer,
shit,
so
though.
I
That's the
mean,
thing.
Who's your favorite
I
murderer?
like Dr. Crippen's earlier work.
Dr. Crippins.
I took us in high school. I took
Oh.
a semester of psychology, and we did a whole section on serial killers, and we spent like 5-6 weeks on that unit.
That teacher
And
was
we-
a serial killer. That's what
Yeah.
it was.
No, but
Like, has anyone heard of this guy? Like, I heard he was around this area. Actually, has anyone done research?
In fact,
I
I saw him last week at the back of the school.
Yeah.
He doesn't drive a Taurus, by the way. He doesn't drive a Taurus. I checked.
Actually, this is going the opposite direction than where you guys are taking it because, well, because you forget how long things take, like when you're in high school. Like, do a research, like the whole process of like doing research project, and then like having to put together a presentation, then going through the presentations. Like we were
Right.
so slow, like, and
Yeah.
we're given so much time. So it's something that we could probably do in an afternoon, like
Because you meet like
these
what,
days.
like once, twice a week.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and things like that. So, so by like week, like by after the first week of presentations, he's just like, guys, I just gotta say, like, let's just try and get through these because like this is starting to become really like exhausting.
Yeah, it was
Like this is
depressing.
starting to just
Okay.
get too much, and we're all like, we agree. We're all like disturbed and like
I really thought it was like, guys, I have a new game to play.
I
Come meet me after class.
I
And
did
let's see
have-
let's see who can run around the auditorium for the longest before I shoot you.
Yeah.
But you see the funny
play
thing with me,
dodge
though,
the
that,
bullet.
if I was like for like serial killers and whatever, to be the ones they never caught would be the ones that you'd be thinking on. To be like Jack the Ripper or like
Jack the Ripper.
Zodiac Killer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like the ones
Zodiac,
that got
yeah.
away with it. There's a fascination somewhat to being able to be that evil and still be able to like function in society and not get
Yeah.
caught.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
What's his name? H.H. Holmes up in Chicago. He built that fucking like fortress of solitude, except it was a fortress of
It's
horror.
like a hotel of death.
Yeah, the Hotel of Death.
Hotel, essentially.
Yeah. There was like rooms like that, like you'd go in, there was a door, and then you turn around, the door suddenly wasn't there. because of the way like it was built.
Shifted or something.
Well, no, not shifted. It was just like it was almost like optical illusions, like hallways to nowhere. You go through a door, you turn around, but certain way you came through the door, it would make it look like the door is not there anymore.
Like it was just seamed closed and there's no knob or anything to open it back up.
And then like you go like, and he was just like
room.
he was just like murdering people and like basically chasing people
basically
around this hotel.
He used to put gas into the rooms and everything. When
He was a pro. He was
take the
proto
bodies
Hitler.
down into the basement and burn them and everything. He was he was a pure bastard. That guy.
Yeah, he basically a proto Hitler, like in that sense. And speaking of which, definitely the most interesting dictator. Somebody brought that up earlier.
Yeah.
Definitely the most interesting dictator in history is Hitler. I know it's a schlock move with that one. Nobody's as interesting as Hitler when it comes to it. Stalin, yeah, whatever.
Stalin
but
was hot.
that's
when he was
it.
young.
Stalin is now like
Jesus Christ.
Damn.
Have you seen this young Stalin photo? That's like that.
I'm
broke
so
the
glad I'm
internet.
not your dad. Hey, Daddy, I wanted to meet my boyfriend.
Yeah.
This is
Joe.
Joseph.
This is
Joseph.
I'm not saying that as like personally. I'm just saying that that's like kind of in the zeitgeist that broke the internet a few years ago when people were like,
Yeah.
"Have you seen young Stalin?" Like,
and now you see all the hipster boys trying to look like young Stalin.
Yeah.
That's the,
he's got
the
a
hipster.
your
he's
dad-
got a footballer
And your
kind of
dad
haircut
was saying,
going
"Can I
on.
call you
Man.
Joe?" And he says, "No, I'm your leader." Just like that. He's gone.
Can I call you
He's gone.
Joe?
Wait, what? Are you trying? What are you trying to say about my father?
No, you could call me Joey. It's like Joey.
I said that you meet if you brought Joseph Stalin home as a
Oh.
boyfriend, and your dad would say, "Can I call you Joe?" And he said, "No, we're gonna have to purge him. He's gone."
Oof.
KGB shows up, disappear.
50 million of his own people, though.
Could have even been higher, 60.
Wasn't Stalin was like the
You start
the
talking
most
millions, that 10
murderous,
is
right?
quite a bit.
Stalin's killed the most people though, didn't he?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
He's up there.
Yeah, he had
Pol
the-
Pot, Stalin.
Pol Pot's up
Mussolini.
there too, yeah.
What's his name? No, Mussolini didn't really kill
anybody.
people.
You know, his
so
granddaughter was a pop star, and is now in Italian, like running for Italian government.
Much. Mussolini's granddaughter.
Yeah. I saw that.
I mean, after what they did to his body, I'm surprised he even had progeny. To be honest with you.
Remind me, what did they do to his body?
They strung him up upside himself and his wife. They strung him up upside down from a lamppost, and everybody just came out and spat on him.
Nice.
He was dead.
I didn't know Lady Gaga was Italian.
Wait, what? Did I miss something?
She is Italian.
She is Italian. Stephanie Germanati, or Germanato, or Germanata.
That was the joke of it.
I don't understand.
Moving on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you. Speaking of podcasts, I wanted to actually. This is something. That's why I said speaking of podcasts. But since we're now a officially off the ground new running podcast, did you hear that Michelle Obama?
Oh, that's been
Has a
marketed so
podcast.
hard. If you have the Spotify app, you've probably been informed in the last 3 weeks, like every week.
I
Yeah.
didn't know that. No.
Yeah.
I
Guess who our first guest is?
Yeah, guess who our first guest was?
Obama?
I mean, it's got to be her
Yes.
husband,
Yeah,
obviously.
Barack.
makes
So you
sense.
know what that is? Well, I think we had a great administration. Don't you think so, Michelle? It's like, yeah, baby, keep talking to me in that voice.
Jesus, man. Like,
No,
what is this?
no,
Everything
it's
yourself all the
basically
time.
the two of them sitting in a room, just going, smells great. Wow, smell this one.
Yeah.
It's basically that. They're just
Okay.
sitting in a room smelling each other's farts. That's it. They are just talking about how great we are. How long is this podcast going to last? How
What's
many?
the best promotion? What's the best promotion? Self-promotion.
Yeah, and they're very adept at that. I'm just going to say it here and now.
So she has her first guest is her husband,
Mm.
and you're automatically like, it's just them being full of themselves. And you're sitting here with your wife,
Yeah.
friends, and you're trying to judge these people for being like
Good
stuck
point,
up
good
or
point.
Well,
something.
let's put it this way, Jay.
You have
I
no
wasn't the leader.
humility.
I wasn't the leader of the free world at some point. Okay.
Yes, but the difference
I
is-
didn't bring
It's like
8 years of
10,000
fucking
spoons
misery
when all
on
you
this
need is a
fucking
knife, right?
planet.
Yeah.
I didn't bring 8 years of misery on this fucking
I
country.
mean, if
you know?
if you had a, if you had
And I
a,
don't sit here about talking about how great I am. If anything, I'm more than willing to take the beatings from everybody else in
Did
this
you
room.
listen to the podcast?
I will. Nothing.
So you haven't even listened to it.
Did you listen all the way
You're
through?
judging
Nothing
a book by
on-
its cover, man.
You're damn right I will. I'll
Josh-
judge a book by its fucking cover. Of
Josh
course I
is-
will. Especially when it comes to two people I can't
And
fucking
if the, in the
stand.
pictures, if there's no illustrations, I'm done
I
with it. It's
hate-
trash.
It's a horrible book. What's it called?
I didn't look at the title.
To-
I just looked right at the binding. It wasn't even leather fucking. It's paper.
I judged it by its spine.
Yeah, to say that Josh is not one to jump to conclusions is a very false statement.
I mean, like
he gets very overexcited. He just saw. I think I'm the one that showed you, didn't I? Like
No, I saw it on
I saw
it on Twitter.
Knew.
I saw it on
knew about
Twitter.
it. He got worked up about it. I'm like, what's the big deal? Everybody has
just
a
don't
fucking
listen
podcast.
to it.
Oh, I'm not going to.
But I
Nothing
will-
on heaven or on earth will ever have me listen to
Knievel
that.
hasn't done as many jumps as you have.
Jesus.
See, but the difference is
Right,
that
right.
it is Josh's show, and he has invited me as co-host. She's running; it's her show, and
Yeah, it just so happens
Well, I
that
mean,
he was,
it's-
ex-president.
it's hard.
Yeah, but
it's hard to
it's-
know who wears the pants in that family, considering that both of them have.
Well, whatever
Dicks.
pants she wears, it doesn't really fucking conceal her
But
penis very well.
But I put it this way now, just
You ever hear that
stay known
conspiracy theory?
in another
You ever hear that
10
one?
years, right?
The video is
and
so
Trump has a
disturbing.
podcast, will say.
Yeah.
Who do you think he's going to have on it? Like, you know what I mean? If the wife has one, she'll have him on it. Just self-promotion, like.
Well, yeah,
It's
but
just-
I mean, I don't see this podcast really lasting because nobody really wants to hear what the Obamas have to say anymore. They, in my opinion, they're windbags. They are the atypical elitist, just smooth talking con man windbag. It's like, I have this elixir to show you. It'll restore vigor and erections for when you're around your lady friends.
What is this,
It's like-
fucking Bioshock?
Exactly. Actually, I was playing Red Dead
sounds
last
just
night.
like those vending machines. Get your good tea.
Get your
But
affordable
like-
care.
but
I was playing Red
Snake
Dead
oil.
last night.
Not
Nigel
playing
West
devil's
Dickens.
advocate here, no, either too, but there are people who actually thought they were good and they're entitled.
Yeah, they're
to
called
their opinion,
idiots.
right?
Yeah, but like regardless of what you think, whether if it's great or not. I mean, I'm assuming your point was that she's having a podcast with her husband.
I just don't like the fact that these people. It's the same with
Explain your
Brie
unbridled
Larson.
rage.
I mean,
Brie Larson's
if I
YouTube
have,
channel.
Like, if I have to say, you know,
Hey,
if
Josh.
I had a significant other that was, you know,
president of
somewhat
the
kind of,
fucking United
you know,
States.
famous, whether
Don't explain for me.
you know, whether good or bad. I mean, like, I
Yeah.
think that would be a good kind of first episode. You know?
The problem with that is these are people. I will now look honestly, ridiculously. I'll be blah about the Obamas. Everything. The Obamas really make no difference in my life. I don't care about them. They just. I don't hate them. I just don't really think about them. I don't like the
As
fact.
you get really hyped up on
I don't
Michelle's
like.
podcast.
I don't like. I don't like the fact that I'm being told, "Oh, you'll like this." It's like, what part of me would ever like this?
Wait, who told you that?
Just
Algorithms.
the algorithm.
Algorithms are telling me, "Oh, come listen to Michelle's podcast."
Oh, you mean like the-
and I'm like,
like the
and
advertising?
I'm like, bitch, I'm trying to get my own fucking podcast sorted here. I don't have time to listen to. I don't have time to listen to cunt. Okay, personally,
Oh
I don't have time
What
to.
did she ever do to you?
No,
Have you
I'm
ever
not.
met
I'm not
this
saying.
woman, like?
I'm not saying she's a cunt. I'm just saying her podcast is cunt.
Is that an
okay?
acronym?
You just,
Josh?
you just said that. You
Is that
just
like-
said
it's like
that.
the
Now, here's the
GRP?
thing.
You know what
Here's the
you're
thing.
gonna- you
It's the
know?
same. It's the same thing to me as Brie Larson having a YouTube channel. It's somebody with a built-in audience, muscling in on a place where people are supposed to be able to be creative and show their own creations and maybe actually make a buck or
Well,
two.
that's just how the-
Being
that's just how the
monetized.
world
But you know
works.
what?
Yeah.
Brie Larson could go out and shout bloody murder about things. She
It's
might
a
be
free
cancelled, but you know what?
platform
She'd
for
never
anyone
fucking
to
be
use.
demonetized because she's got an inbuilt audience. She could.
Well, that's just
But
how
you
the
know what?
world
The
works.
little
You know,
guy,
people
but
people
yeah, but the
work
little
with
guy,
their own
the little guy,
narratives.
but the little guy like
It's
us,
always going to be tough for the
you
little
slip
guy.
up, you say the wrong word like cunt, and I'll say goodbye to monetization right now.
We'll bleep that out in
it's
post.
We will. Well, are you editing? Thank you,
This
Jim.
is
Well,
this
well,
is a podcast
Here.
hosted by an Irish
Here's the
man.
first editing thing.
This is a
Stripper.
But like, no. But like,
Single bill.
You have to look as well too. You have to look as well too. If she has her podcast and she doesn't have her husband as the first guest, then that sends a different message to everybody around the place.
How about
come,
she-
he was the
Right,
first
right,
person
right,
to
yeah.
How
talk
about
to.
she sit down and
There's-
just talk
there's-
about what she believes in and do a 30-minute show? Just Michelle sitting down talking about whatever. That I might be interested in. I would be like, okay, that's interesting. Michelle by herself. No crutch.
So you don't like it because Barack is in it.
No, because here's the thing.
Right.
If Barack were to do the exact same
So
thing,
his own podcast, yeah.
if Barack were to do the exact same thing, I'd be like, okay, maybe I'm interested in hearing this. I would like to hear what Barack Obama, just by himself,
Right.
with no teleprompters, audience, anything, just him in a room and a microphone.
So what, Barack Uncensored?
My fellow Americans, I'm here to bring you a podcast. I'd like to hear. I'd love to hear Trump doing that. I would have loved to hear Kennedy doing that in that god off. I mean, talk about a voice that wasn't built for radio. And we do things that are the hard way into our space. Oh my God, he has a hat removal service and he's shooting from a building. It's like, it's
Hat
like
removals. I'll just say that JFK did not wear a lot of hats.
Well, he certainly didn't after that day in Dallas.
Jesus.
Oh,
More like head removal.
Can I just interject here and add some commentary?
Yeah. Go ahead. Yeah.
I love how passionate Josh is talking about this very, very incredibly non-issue.
Oh,
and
yeah.
yet you're like,
Absolutely.
what's the big deal with this space trash? What the fuck are you
Everyone's freaking
Who
out about
fucking
garbage.
cares? What the fuck? Did you hear Michelle Obama's got a podcast?
We gotta focus on the real garbage. Michelle
This
Obama's
is
got a
wrong.
podcast.
I am just to spite all of you. I am going to build my own little spacecraft and send my local trash here into space just to fuck with you all. There's going to be Tony cat shit floating in orbit, and my cat's going to be watching it come through, and she's like, yeah, as it comes down
I
raining
feel
like.
so
You just gotta
threatened.
shoot it up
I
at
feel so
11,000 kilometers
like-
per hour and you'll be good.
That'll burn up in the atmosphere.
This is the welcome to the Goldenrod space program.
He's just
Oh,
gonna make
God.
our atmosphere smell like shit because the atmospheric reentry is gonna burn.
Goldenrod 1 to
Non-ferrous.
Goldenrod 2.
I mean, I'm
Come
not-
in, Goldenrod.
I'm just saying,
Goldenrod
if you have
podcast. The Goldenrod podcast.
Come in.
That's it.
Me,
Has to be done.
Goldenrod. Come in. Me, Goldenrod.
I'm just saying, if you have a
Sponsored,
famous,
sponsored by the Obamas.
I'm just saying, if you have a famous significant other or somebody you know, I mean, it'd be kind of detrimental not to utilize them.
No,
in
it all
your-
makes
in your-
complete
yeah.
sense.
Of course it is.
Josh.
I just wanted to bring up that.
Everyone else now, we're just taking this one out in terms of podcast. Some podcasts would have to spend thousands to get this guy on their podcast.
Oh yeah.
She can get it for free.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You know,
Why
you
Oh
would
no!
you
Someone,
utilize
your
believe me,
resources.
there is a transaction going on, and I'm
No,
pretty
you're
sure
thinking
one
of
of
the
the two of them is
Clintons.
not happy. Oh God, Clinton. Yeah.
I think they have a real relationship.
Yeah. Okay.
Like I don't think it's. I mean, yes, they're kind of so. You can make the argument that they've been more of trying to be celebrities, way beyond the presidency, and even during their presidency. That's what a lot of people kind of. That's what irks.
I mean,
Josh,
I feel like
is
that's
the-
just natural.
It's the celebrity essence
One
of
got
it. But
18.
yet,
One got 18 million for their
have a
memoirs.
celebrity
The other one got like
essence.
6, and they can't
Yeah.
remember anything that ever happened on the road. That's hilarious to me. Like
what's that? Sorry.
I said, one got like 18 million for a memoir, and the other
Oh.
one got like 6 or 7 million or something.
Who are you talking about? The Clintons or the Obamas?
The Clintons.
Oh, the Clintons. Yeah.
and
Oh, yeah.
under oath, they couldn't remember anything that ever happened in their whole terms.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
This is
that's,
true.
That's just
But they
natural.
can have a memoir about it.
I don't remember anything now. Buy my memoirs.
Yeah.
So how did all those trials go down that everybody didn't know about because of?
Oh, that's not till September.
Oh, it's not till September.
Yeah, but I'm assuming you're under that spotlight, you know, like the whole nation. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, there's got to be interest, you know, whether you're personally interested.
Oh,
or
I'm
not.
sure there's interest, but the thing is, I just can't
Oh, it's
imagine.
gonna be successful.
I can't imagine. I
Like-
can't imagine Barack Obama or Michelle Obama having anything actually interesting to say. I just don't think they have anything interesting to say. I think I see them the same light as the Hollywood elite. They're empty vessels. The best way you can put it. They're an empty milk bottle.
I mean, that's
And
that's
then-
exactly what you just said. You know, like.
Jason's just staring at
Just
you
personally,
like.
I just think they're empty.
I mean, that's.
Okay, I think we gotta move on because this is.
Hold on.
Well, I will
Let D have his part.
I will conclude. I mean, it's just like what you said about Brie Larson. You know,
It's okay.
regardless of what you
Normal to
think,
be confused.
regardless of what you think, if they have any content worth listening to, you know, they have that audience and they're utilizing.
And I hate that. Yeah. I hate that. I hate that they have that audience, even though they have nothing interesting to
it's
say.
not going to.
Just have something interesting to say.
Right. But the inevitable reality is there's always going to be that demographic that will support them and listen to them. you
I'm,
know?
like-
I'm reminded of.
that's why they do it.
I'm
You know,
reminded of
fans.
radio. That
Marvel movies are going to still be popular whether you like them or not.
I
That's the
remem-
kind of thing.
I-
There's always going to be a demographic or something you don't
I'm-
like.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm reminded.
And
I'm
I'm
reminded
sure
of
you have
radio
your own
here.
things as well, yeah.
You have likes David Lee Roth had its own radio show. It failed. Oprah Winfrey had radio shows. They failed.
Really?
Well, no, sorry, I didn't mean Oprah. I meant Whoopi Goldberg. She had
Goldberg.
Wake Up with Whoopi or something.
Usually
she had a
those
radio
are
show.
projects they just kind of give up
No,
on, though.
no,
on the,
this
on
was
themselves.
the
She was on
corporate.
The View. She's on The View or something now, right? Or
Yeah,
she's,
yeah.
She's
But
still
the whole
on it, I'm not sure.
the whole
But
thing
she-
about these radio
but I-
shows is with Sirius XM, and XM before the merger. The whole idea with these radio things were they were satellite radio, not constrained by FCC regulations.
Yeah.
So you could be all you wanted on
You
it.
say
This-
anything you want.
You
Yeah.
can be
Yeah.
as cunty as you wanted.
Exactly. You could be a flat out son of a bitch and say whatever you want on it. Then these radio stations started getting the celebrities on,
Shock
and then
rock.
they got the shock jocks were like of Howard Stern, Opie and Anthony,
Yeah,
Ron and
that's what I'm
Fez.
saying, that's
I mean,
what
yeah.
I'm saying,
You
yeah.
can still have an audience. It doesn't mean that you're going to
But
succeed.
the thing was, they started because when Sirius and XM actually merged.
Right.
That's when basically Ron and Fez, Opie and Anthony, and Howard Stern all went under the one umbrella. But then Sirius decided, yeah, Howard's our big fucking pull. Opie and Anthony are our second big pull, and then here's Ron and Fez, who'll be kind of comparable to Opie and Anthony, probably maybe a little below them. But the thing was, now we want celebrities. And what they started doing was basically just gutting, clearing, and making everything more sanitized so they get big celebrity names in. And that's when you had like the likes of fucking David Lee Roth. I don't know if this was serious, but this is just the example.
Paul McCartney.
You started getting
Paul McCartney had a
celebrities.
talk show?
The problem is celebrities never lasted because they had nothing interesting to say. They never have anything interesting to say.
Yeah,
Look at a Robert De
the
Niro.
problems of their normal life.
Yeah,
Like,
look
oh my
at
God,
look
I had
at
to go
any
grocery
interview
shopping
with
for the
Robert
first
De
time.
Niro. Look at any interview with Robert De Niro. He's just sitting there. Yeah, I'm a tough guy. Don't mess with me. I'm the tough guy. And it's like,
But we see the
no, you're not,
podcast-
Robert. You're an
podcast
actor.
itself
You're
was
a,
basically, it was like when you used to have the TV reality shows like Hogan Knows Best, right?
Hogan knows.
I watched
God,
that.
yeah, remember
I
that?
watched
let me
that.
tell you, brother. It's a
Right.
car full of Hulkamaniacs, and we're going to the pizza parlor. Get in the car.
Right. And then his daughter
Why were
had
you,
like a music career out of it and the whole thing, and then the son got into a big car accident and had to do like prison
Look at
time and the whole.
Look at fucking Gene Simmons. What, Family Jewels?
Oh yeah, I watched that too.
I have something else I
Ozzy
want to
Osbourne?
Ozzy, yeah, the
Ozzy
Osbournes.
Osbourne,
The
yeah.
Osbournes.
Yeah. Sharon, the dog shit in the rug again. Sharon! Family Jewels, Gene Simmons. I have something else, Kiss, related to sell you. I have
I
something.
heard that actually that
I
Ozzy
have a
Osbourne
Kiss
has actually been
coffin.
hired to be a translator for Biden, so that's good.
Speaking, but here's the thing, and here's something that really I thought really hammers in my point about this. Everybody in this room know, and in the bunker there, does everybody know who Alyssa Milano is?
Yeah.
No.
No.
I do.
I don't
She
know
was
that.
the girl in Commando.
Yeah, Jenny. Jenny.
Oh, she was the daughter in
She was a
Commando?
little girl in Commando,
yeah.
Oh.
yeah, and she was
She
in a
was
few.
in Charmed afterwards, I think.
Yeah, she was in a
If I
few
remember
movies that made
correctly.
light of her big fucking tits.
Made
In
light
other
of
words,
them?
well,
What does that even
made
mean?
heavy of them. Made heavy of them.
They put
Made
them in the
use
light.
of
Put
them.
them to use. Put them to use. Yes.
Yes, there you
So
go.
she has
Put
a
them in the
podcast.
light.
She has a podcast. God forbid I know what the fucking name of that podcast is because I don't care. But she is actually angry. She is angry.
Angry
Because-
It's
What?
called the
Hates
Golden
podcasts.
Rod
Wait.
podcast.
Now here's the thing. All of you except Johnny didn't know who Alyssa Milano was.
I knew.
I know.
And you know. Now we all know now because Johnny
Yeah.
died.
Yeah, I know
Now, that's
who-
why we know her
from
now.
the movie.
But she's angry
Okay.
because because a certain somebody has more than 3 times, probably more than 300 times her listenership. Do you know who that somebody is? And do you know who she's mad at because who has that? And she's outraged that person has this.
It's not us.
Joe
Was she
fucking
in
Rogan.
I was gonna say this is the first
Boss as
podcast
well,
I can think of
too?
with Joe Rogan.
we all know who Joe Rogan is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why she
Joe
mad at Joe?
is Mr. fucking late night these days.
Yeah.
Joe is blowing fucking late night television out of the water with his numbers. He's millions. He has millions of views. Late night TV is hundreds of thousands.
His YouTube channel as well.
Millions. And now he has a Spotify deal
and
for
I've-
100 million.
And I've listened to him. I've actually listened
Yeah.
to him, and he actually does a pretty good job in it.
Yeah,
And
he's
Joe,
great. He's
yeah,
great. Yeah.
Joe is great because do you know why? Joe
doing it
doesn't get
forever.
ideological about shit. He'll sit down with Ben Shapiro. He'll sit down with Bernie Sanders. He'll sit down with anybody.
Well, that's the point. You open a discussion for people to listen to.
Yeah. And he sits down.
Very laid back.
But he sits down like you're sitting at a bar, and he'll talk, and you'll take it back and forth, and he makes him feel comfortable, and he'll open up.
Right.
Like, that's the good sign. That's like the good sign of like a really good like presenter that way. Like Letterman had it, or Johnny Carson over here had it, or like Gay Byrne back in Ireland had it.
This is very true.
People would forget who they were, and they would go into an interview thing, and this guy's a nice guy. We're just chatting away, and they'd open up. That's the key.
There's
a very good old talk show host back in the US, like 70s. Oh man,
Johnny Carson.
No, not Johnny Carson.
Donahue.
I can't remember his
Stoneface.
Ed Sullivan.
Ed Sullivan.
No, it wasn't Ed Sullivan.
Really big show.
Not as famous as I'll have to
Not
remember it later. But you're absolutely right, Johnny. Just how you interact with your guests and being able to present all that stuff is really trademarks of a good presenter. Instead of somebody like Jimmy Fallon all the time just can't even give your guest 10 seconds to speak without laughing all the time.
Dick Cavett.
By the way,
I think so. Yeah, Dick Cavett. Yeah.
I was just gonna say, have any of you guys ever seen clips of the Eric Andre show?
Oh yeah,
he goes like the complete opposite with his guest talk show.
Yeah.
He just tortures the shit out of his guest, and
he's
it's
nuts.
great.
It's great.
That's kind of absurdist, like surrealist kind of humor.
But
But the point is that a lot of times the whole point is that the guests really don't know if they're getting
A
themselves
lot
into.
of them are just like, oh, it's a talk show. Okay, I'll be there. And apparently, it's like he just torments them for an hour and a half.
Yeah.
And they're just like, they'll take like the best few clips out of it, and it's just like.
It's
and I just
amazing.
thought it was like the most brilliant thing ever, because at first
Yeah.
I was like, this is the weirdest show, this is garbage. But then once I started reading about it, and I was like, oh my god, these people really have no idea what they're getting into, and he's just like giving them shit.
Yeah.
Because it's like he just doesn't give a fuck. He's like, these celebrities get so pampered on all these talk shows. He's like, I want to just fucking
Make
really
them
break them down and
Yeah.
see what they're like.
Make
And I
them
love
vulnerable.
that. The subversiveness of that.
Because there is something
fucking amazing.
there is something very rehearsed about when they go on late night shows.
Yeah.
So
Oh, yeah.
the fact that they're
They
like
bring up
putting
the
a really
topics of what they're going to talk about.
Yeah,
and stuff.
they're-
Right, Mr.
Yeah,
De
but
Niro's
usually
here now.
if they go on
Prepare a
late
clip.
shows, they're either like promoting a movie or
bringing
a
up a
book
clip.
or something they're doing.
Yeah, there's like an
then
outline
they're
of what they're gonna do.
Now, Mr. De
they've
Niro,
got, like-
Mr. De Niro is here with you in his good graces. That's the thing. Now, there's a couple of things you can't talk to Mr. De Niro about. Number one, his over-reliance on breathing through his nose and nowhere else. His tough guy attitude. You got to pretend he's a tough guy, even though you know he's a doddering old man. And number three, you got to believe his political views and pat him on the head. And that
What's
way
your-
he'll get a cookie when he gets back to the van later.
Hey, Gold-
Capiche? Capiche?
Hey, Goldrad, what's your heart on with
Goldrad.
Robert De Niro right now?
So I just using him because
Goldrad.
he's the worst one. So
No,
here's the tweet
Okay.
right from Alyssa Milano. We live in a world where Joe Rogan's podcast has tripled the listeners as mine. Dear God.
Why would that even be? Yes, he's the king of podcasting.
Check out the ratio here. 3.7 thousand likes. 19,000 and a half replies. I'm going to say there's quite a bit of ratioing going on there because, and also Michael Malice here saying Alyssa Milano has done a better job of letting people know she has a podcast than Michelle Obama did. Because, but
I look at this and I see why I'm not on Twitter.
yeah, but I mean, look, that's the name of her
Toxic,
podcast.
toxic
That's the name of
place.
her podcast.
Oh,
sorry, not
please,
sorry.
Josh, that is like a name you were thinking of for this podcast.
Yeah, that
No.
is
Fuck
true. Yeah.
you.
Sorry, not
Every
sorry.
time you open yourself up for what you call like media, right? So you get your Twitter accounts, your Instagrams, or Facebook. You're leaving yourself open for places that you could listen or look at to see criticism or likes, right?
Why-
So you have to roll with the punches with that, like.
They're just like,
You know what I mean?
I'm not fundamentally understanding why she would, in the first place, compare herself to Joe Rogan, because he's been doing it for what, like 10 plus years. He's got like over 1,000 episodes.
Yeah.
He's like one of the OGs in podcasting. So,
But-
why would she even compare?
Now, here's the thing, and this is my point about
Twitter's
comparing.
so stupid.
This is very,
Such
very.
a cesspool of like
This is
idiots.
very much indicative of what you probably be hearing on Sorry Not Sorry. And believe me, I've seen enough of Alyssa Milano's tweets to know this. And she flaunts it.
I
She
see
says,
that. I see the macro you've built in there actually to the
Yeah,
to
look.
the Twitter account.
it's like, and
What?
she's all this shit. She just talks about. I can't stop eating carbs. Also Cheez-Its. Also everything. Does this sound like a podcast you want to listen to, or a person?
That's the thing. Is
No,
like
that
people
is-
people do listen.
Donald
to that,
Trump
yeah.
is the worst. Oh wow, what a brave statement.
Just not being bad or anything, but
This is why
like
I'm
when
not
they
on
tried to
Yeah,
the
I'm
guy
on
the
Twitter.
guy who actually tried to assassinate Reagan tried to do it to show his love for
Jodie Foster.
what's her name, Jodie Foster,
Yeah.
right?
Chapman.
And if
Yeah.
believe me, if you have people out there who think this is a way of showing love, there's people out there that would listen to anything on the
Yeah,
internet.
that's true.
This is true.
Like
Yeah.
I said,
Look at that.
there's always going to be an audience that whether you like it or not.
There is,
Look
but
at
I
that
mean,
Van Gogh weirdo. I heard he did some fucking crazy shit.
Van
for love.
Gogh?
Yeah. Didn't that weird
Van
bastard
Gogh,
like chop
fuck
off his ear?
yourself.
I've only
He
half
took
heard
off
about
part
him.
of his
Go
ear
on.
and sent it to a prostitute.
Nice.
Now that,
Yeah.
now
Half
that
heard.
is
That's,
One
actually-
ear.
that's how you
I-
become famous right
I
there.
actually-
that is answering every woman's. I give you a piece of me and I'm listening. That's answering every.
I'll lend you
woman-
my ear.
Yes.
Yeah, he took the whole thing from the Shakespeare thing. Romans, countrymen, lend me your ears. There we
Yeah.
go. Sorry, man. Keep going.
There's a skit I saw of that. I think it might have been Family Guy back in the day when I used to watch it, where they did a skit on Van Gogh. He's like, I got you my ear because show you my love. And she's
Yes.
like, Jesus Christ, what the hell are we going to tell kids? He's like, oh, you want kids? Oh, wish you would have told me that before I got you this. It's just like this long cylindrical box. I was like, oh, God.
I mean, wasn't there like an episode in Mad Men as well where
Was it?
one of the guys cuts his ear
Oh, he
off?
cut his nipple off.
Oh, cuts his nipple
yeah.
off. Yeah,
We didn't get to that point
My
yet.
gift
We
to
kind
you.
of stopped
Wait,
watching
what?
that too.
What?
Well, he
Madman.
was on drugs. I think. Yeah.
He was nuts. He was just nuts.
show?
Mad Men.
Oh,
Mad
Mad
Men,
Men.
yeah.
I haven't.
I love the line where he just talks to Don. It's like, I worry about you, and Don's like, I don't even think about you at all.
That's a great line. Right, so we're just going to end on this and maybe get to a couple of videos before we log off for the evening. This is running very long, but I think
Is
it's
it?
been quite good, personally. So have we heard all
He
of it?
always evaluates. He always does a self-evaluation.
Stop whining. Stop whining.
I'm not whining. It's just something
Stop
that may be
whining.
part of your rebranding. You
whining.
might
Okay,
want to.
okay, stop
take
playing it
out.
more than once. It gets,
stop what?
It gets less funnier every time you repeat.
Well, she wouldn't shut up. Sorry.
God.
I'm joking.
I've said the least words throughout this whole podcast, so I
Yeah.
don't know what the fuck
I
you're
don't know
talking
about that.
But he has kept.
Appreciate
But he
it. I started
actually
going-
has kept the
I'll go
actual
back-
record.
I'll go back and
going.
count
He
for
did
you, Britt.
mention rape at least once in the podcast.
I think I did mention it once, but
But
it
you
was. It
usually
was
Mention what?
mentioned the word rape somewhere in the podcast.
Oh yeah,
But I think it was
rape,
within context.
AIDS, but AIDS was in the pre-show or whatever we were doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did the
That's
two
gotta
of
come
those
up
actually.
at
I
least
think.
once.
Yeah,
Well, it's
what-
in now.
So have we all heard about Ellen DeGeneres?
Yeah, she's a lesbian.
She's pretty
I've
famous.
heard.
No. She's under investigation by corporate parent Warner Media following accusations that executives allowed a hostile work environment
Oh,
to
yeah.
fester for years under her.
This has not been a good year for her.
Yeah, basically, apparently she's a complete and utter asshole as opposed to this
freak?
control freak asshole.
under-
Difficult to
her
work
show?
with.
difficult to work at and just a bitch. Apparently, she's just a bitch. Now, I want to believe this so bad because I've never liked Ellen. I've never liked this sanitized. I'm dancing on TV with celebrities. You know?
Yeah.
Well,
That was
he
very.
looked horrified.
I was just
by
like,
that.
Jesus Christ.
The listener
Josh's
says-
body moved like that.
the
That was-
listeners have been spared from that horrific
Yeah.
image of Josh dancing.
Unless this goes, this is going live. But
oh, God.
It's a good thing that this is just an audio medium because
Yeah.
I mean this whole time I've been distracted because I'm looking at his profile and I just can see that during this time of quarantine that it looks like he's growing a
if
mullet.
if you remember
I've been
back
very
in the time when
distracted
you
by
said
that.
that,
I'm trying to take
his
him serious.
Australian people were like inbred and like retarded. That might have
no,
proved that
just
actually
my
the
family in
vaccine
Australia are
right there, that
retarded.
was
That's all I
pretty
was
bad.
saying.
It just so happens to be in Australia.
And it's okay because they're my
Hey.
family and they know I don't think they're retarded.
Hey Josh, you know.
You look like a mannequin with like 3 strings missing. That was terrible.
Hey Josh,
So a doll.
a marionette.
Josh, you know
What?
you can go. It's safe to go get a haircut, right?
It's also,
Because it really does look like you're growing a mullet.
yeah, it does. I know.
Rock it, dude.
My
Get the Irish mullet going.
Look
on
at
was-
that.
I gotta say, I love your hair. I kind of want to
It's
touch
like it was like it looked like a tribute to Conan O'Brien.
Conan O'Brien.
Conan O'Brien. But yeah, so this is I mean, Ellen apparently is worth 330 million. I guess you'd say that's maybe too big to fail when it comes to TV.
Yeah.
So again, I want to hate Ellen, but this doesn't sound too bad to me. Tell me what you guys think. And this is per the Daily Mail in England. A black woman claims she suffered a number of microaggressions. Her request for a raise was ignored, and she was accused of walking around looking resentful and angry after asking for staff members to undergo diversity inclusion training.
Was that just the plot of Diary of a Mad Black Woman?
I don't know.
Wait,
D?
what does that mean? Diversity, what?
Oh, she recommended that the entire staff go to diversity and inclusion training. You know that stupid thing where you sit in there with a guy. Hi guys. Today we're going to learn about why it's
Sensitivity
not
training.
nice to be insensitive. How a joke can have ripples like ripples in a pond. You know that guy.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's a reason. There's a reason you're hated.
I kind of sat in a meeting like that today,
Yeah.
but it wasn't that
But
bad.
see, I find that funny because like she was one of the very first who actually came out and openly was like lesbian, right?
Yeah.
I kind of brought that to the fore.
Oh yeah, she was.
You know what
she
I
had
mean?
the first like lesbian kiss on TV.
Yeah,
all big
Ellen.
deal.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, I mean, I kind of find that to be kind of odd that someone was saying you're not like someone who's like recognizing this in the society and stuff. Like, I mean, I've never met the woman, so I have no idea. She could be a tundra.
We hadn't thought you had met her.
Mm.
You didn't have to
You
really.
know, but it's
you
like,
didn't have
but
to
like,
make that point.
I mean, to me, she's still finding Nemo. You know what I mean? She was in all that, and then she did
Oh,
the
yeah,
voice
yeah.
over
Oh,
to
yeah,
all
she did
that.
voice
And, you know what
over,
I mean?
yeah.
And I've always seen her like doing an awful lot like for charities and for kids and whatever it was. So,
So-
maybe that's all the sad in the front. Who
Yeah.
knows?
Right.
Now-
I don't know if I fully like agree with coming forward about any of this kind of stuff. It just seems like it's snowballing, probably
But-
way bigger than it really
But
is.
again, does this sound like something that is
no,
Ellen's
it
fault?
doesn't.
I wouldn't necessarily say it sounds like this individual, whatever. You know what I mean,
Yeah.
you know, what you're presenting on media isn't necessarily the most transparent.
Well, no, yeah,
form.
you
But
have
like,
your
put it this way now, all right? She said she went up for a raise and she didn't get it. Okay.
Maybe
So
she-
let's
maybe
just-
she- maybe she
let's
wasn't good
just
enough.
Play the devil's advocate here. So say I went up for a raise and I didn't get it because I didn't deserve to get a raise.
Yeah.
Job performance wasn't worked out,
Exactly.
right?
Mhm.
So nobody would blink an eye. Think if there was a white Irish guy didn't get a raise for if his thing was up for, you know what I mean? It's not. But because there was a black woman went up there to get a raise and didn't get it, it becomes a whole big hula.
Oh yeah.
Well, I'm assuming you know it's legitimately becomes a problem if it's because you know you're black, we're not going to give you a raise. But if it's like, oh yeah, you're a horrible employee.
Yeah.
Regardless of what you
yeah.
look like.
One
It's been
thing-
great
yeah,
for me
yeah,
having
definitely.
Canada last night.
I believe, like
One
I want,
person
I
at a
believe,
time.
I believe if, oh, could I get a raise? No, you're black. I believe that's illegal.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's
yes,
right,
that's
right,
pretty
right.
goddamn illegal. Hi, I'd like a raise. Well, you're shit at your job, so
Yeah.
no.
But then if they bring it up, be like, oh, well, like, I tried to ask for a raise from this company, and then, like, people look and they're like, oh, well, this African-American brought up a
Yeah.
raise, and then they didn't get it. Then it
Exactly.
kind of, people twist it into a racial thing.
Yes, absolutely.
I remember
that's the-
working.
And
I remember
also-
working for my father, and I asked for a raise, and he gave me a ladder. That was it. Like,
Give me a raise, Daddy. No,
He picks you up.
if anything, I've personally witnessed like people gaining an advantage for being a person of color.
Be careful.
No, I
Diversity
have.
hire, yeah.
Like, yeah, because it's like, oh, I have a manager who's like seriously very incompetent at their job, but they're gay and Hispanic.
Oh,
And
I
I
know what
think
you're
they're
talking
being-
about. Okay, I'll take back that bell.
I think they're being protected.
Yeah.
And even people that are like, well, you would never hear that. They're just like, I'm just being very honest about this. Like, I think it's not a service to him to allow him to continue in this very stressful position that he's in because he is so overwhelmed and daunted. But it's like, we're afraid to tell you or let you know because of this minority.
yeah.
And then just.
it goes, but like this feeds back now to this whole thing there. You know, for Ellen, say for example, here now, if we played it out now, the same idea. The two of you went for the same position, okay?
Yes.
And the white woman got it over the black one. The other one's resentful. Oh, she only got it because she's white, right?
Yeah, and that's.
Or vice versa. She only got it because she was black, right? And they
Yeah,
have to have a certain. You have this like.
Well, yeah, you can have it
same
both
with the
ways.
NFL, you have to have so many black coaches, or you have to have so many black people actually
Yeah, the
interviewing
affirmative
for
action
things.
kind of stuff.
Mm.
But
You know what I mean?
I have one
it's
more.
like-
Sorry.
I get that. I get that point. They want to make sure that they have the opportunity to advance.
Yeah.
And that should be across the board. If I'm better for the job, it doesn't matter if I'm purple or green spots. I'm better for the job.
That's true.
Yeah, and I have one more example.
It's called merit. Go
I
ahead.
have one more example.
Yeah.
Recently, my father he's an employee. He works in a practice. He's no longer the owner of the practice, but anyway, so he's kind of hands off about all of it. But they do have. He's been doing this job for 30 plus years, and he's encountered one of the worst assistants he's ever seen. And they were like considering like having to let him go.
Yeah.
But it's like with the recent events.
Yeah.
It was like, we're not going to even touch that right now because he's a black man.
Yeah.
Like,
We're
we
letting you
can't
go through
touch
your
it now.
shit. I can't possibly let go because I'm black. Basically.
Like, it's like, that's
Bullshit.
also racist.
Yeah.
Like,
That is such racism.
But it's
Like, that's not a service to him.
I mean, if you're working in a workplace, right? I mean, and I've worked with all ethnic groups and everything going down through, right? And I've always judged people on the colour of their hair, on the colour of their skin. I work with
The moral fibre.
I work with your work ethic. If you're working and you're working with me, and there's no, you know what I mean, we're all working together.
Except D. I'm
But if
always
you're actually-
I'm always going to judge D by the shape of his eyes. I'm just going to say that.
his eyes are very normal shaped. I don't understand.
You mean tremendous D? That's what I call him.
Tremendous D. No, that's what you
Tenacious
get. Tremendous D.
That is the first. That's going to be the
But it's
first
like,
movie,
but
part
I look
one
at it- I
of
look at it like in
Goldenrod.
terms of
Yeah,
that, like,
Goldenrod.
Goldenrod.
Goldenrod and
D.
throbbing D.
And the tremendous
In
D.
3D.
I don't think I like the prospect of being like your sidekick. Goldenrod and the tremendous D. Goldenrod and the...
Goldenrod.
Oh, D. You'll never
believe
be
the word I
anybody's
used was-
It could be
sidekick. You're
worse.
going to be their
It
side
could be worse.
piece.
You could be the tremendous O, which would be different. Now that gives a whole different connotation.
A very confused face.
But my thing, the whole, and I cut it up short here now too. But it's like a case of color shouldn't be an issue when you're in the workplace.
No, it shouldn't.
be.
You're right.
Everybody should be able to go for the same positions, and if they have the merit to get it, they should get it, right?
Yeah.
We should all have this.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter with the sex thing, like you used to have, like they're trying to overcompensate now for the fact back in the time because between the genders, women and men were in different pay raises. They're trying to like basically get rid of the glass ceiling and get everybody up on the same level.
I mean,
Basically, just start it from scratch and say, okay, who's the best person for the job? I
Right.
don't care if they're a woman or a man. He could be from Haiti. He could be from, you know what I mean? It doesn't matter.
He
If
could
they're
just
the
be
right
hazy.
person for the job, put him in there. And just picking one place up from Ireland. He could be from Limerick. He could be from Cork. He could be from Galway.
Yeah, it
Doesn't matter if they're the right person for the job.
Yeah, it's a very touchy subject to know, like, to really try and explore the issue and be like, okay, are they playing a card here? Or, like, do they really need to understand that, like, no, like, these are the things that are expected of you and you're not making these expectations. And not because of this. It's because, like, I don't care, like, where you come from or what color your skin is. Like, this is what the job requires and you're just not meeting those. So, but it's really on that individual to understand what's happening to them. Like, they need to be self-reflective and be like, but I could see how it is easy to, because we do have, in a sense, like, we do have a system here where if we're telling people that they have been oppressed for their whole life and that's why you're not where you're getting where you are, they're going to turn to that because that's kind of a way that people have been, like, trained to think. Like, if you're having adversity in life, it might be because of the color of your skin. So, like, we're teaching people that they are being oppressed by racist and then by racial issues, and it might not be true. It's hard. It's a hard flip. They gotta. It's just how people's brains are trained, how they're gonna react to a situation, and that's what makes it really difficult to navigate.
I look at it as well too. Like, I can honestly say I have no idea what it's like to wake up as like a black man or a black woman in America.
Yeah.
And like them passing the door and like some people like seeing it and like locking the door or like seeing someone passing the car, they're kind of like, what, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That kind of stereotype and whatever to be. I have no idea how that is to grow up in.
Yeah, and just because I've never,
you know
like,
what I mean?
You know, being afraid of being shot.
Yeah, like, and just because
that's it, like,
and
or grown up in an area where you could get shot.
And that's the thing.
You know,
Very true.
Sorry, like what I meant is like, you know, like the whole stereotype about, you know, with police,
Yeah.
specifically, you know.
Yeah, I mean, and statistically, that doesn't stand up. But I mean, I do understand like there'll be a fear there because if you're told to be afraid of something for long enough,
Yeah.
you're going to be afraid of it.
So when
Yeah.
you show
It's
it-
real fear.
It could be
It
a
becomes
complete
real
irrational fear, but
But
the
it's
fact of the
real.
matter is, it's real.
It's there.
And I understand that. I really do understand that. Like, I mean, we have like a good friend. We won't say his name. Let's not say his name at all. But we have a good friend, and we can understand like his experience of it. We've talked about it on occasion in the past.
WJ.
WJ, yes. SJW. No, WJ. But we've spoken about it, and I was like, dude, like, odds are nothing's going to happen. But he's like, yeah, but we were told it was going to happen.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, I suppose you were told it all
Prepare
your life.
yourself
Yeah,
for
you're
the
going to
worst.
be you're going to be freaked out by it, of course, and I understood that. I mean, like, myself and Johnny are Irish. If we're going to be told we're going down the tunnels next week, we're probably going to be like, that's not going to end well for us.
Yeah.
That's not going to end well for us. We're probably going to end up dead.
Yeah.
Right. So moving.
I think a level of representation is
As a
also-
resident POC?
also good.
And POS.
Yeah, don't call me that. I think.
Yeah, you're a POS.
I think if you're out there representing your whatever, if you're gay or if you're if you're black or
Trans
Asian
or-
or whatever, I feel like a level of representation is really good because at the end of the day you kind of have to feel confident, be proud of yourself, but
Yeah.
that big but is that you need your merits to show too. If you
Yeah.
are in this position because you have taken the appropriate training and education and you've done all these years of experience, like you said, it really shouldn't matter, especially in the workplace compared
You see,
to
this,
You're very right. Yeah.
compared
And
to compared to the words coming out of your mouth.
This is a very good quorum in terms of it because, like, we're looking at all we have basically here in this actual thing. So I was born in Europe, right?
No, you were born in Ireland.
Born in
So
Ireland.
not part of the
There you go.
continent.
We have
Fuck Europe.
the American side actually taken in terms of it too, right?
All right.
Yeah, what?
And go on.
And
Hello? Is he?
Did Johnny cut off?
Johnny.
Alright, cut off.
Check the
I think
better-
his laptop died.
Oh shit.
Oh.
Oh, he's
Johnny.
frozen.
He's frozen in time.
tell him to reconnect. Like send him a message.
Like an
I-
Irish sickle.
No way to
yeah,
do
but
so.
I mean,
Hang
send him
on.
a text.
Oh, wait. He's moving again. Oh, wait.
Johnny, we can't hear you.
Robo Johnny.
We'll come back to him.
Come back.
All right. So, because I mean, anyway, I didn't want to cut him out,
Yeah.
but since we're running so long, I just wanted to get to a couple of interesting and shocking videos I found. The first one, did we all hear about TikTok? Right? It's going to be.
Is it going to be?
Yeah, I think they want to cancel
What
it at
is
the
this,
moment.
China?
And I think we.
China uses the TikTok a lot.
I think Johnny's.
He disconnected, I think. Yeah.
He disconnected. So I think I found a reason that TikTok.
Ticknock?
Not
Tit knockers.
The knockoff TikTok.
Yeah, so TikNok.
Tick knockoff.
Yes. very, very good job.
Oh my god.
Very
He gets
cool.
the applause.
I like that.
I think he's back.
I think
Hello,
he's back
Johnny.
in.
Johnny, you back?
Yeah, can you
All
hear
right.
me?
We
Cool.
moved on.
Are you able to see? Are you able to see the video?
No, not the video here. No.
Stream
I know.
your screen.
You should be stream to
I
screen.
know.
If I lean out of the way, can you see from way back there?
No, go Discord.
Hang on. Yeah,
Discord,
you may.
go back to
You
Discord.
may want to help me with this, G.
And then
Okay.
on the bottom screen.
Yeah, this one.
No, bottom left.
This.
Yeah, share your screen.
Move to the left. And screen.
Yeah, I'm gonna share the screen.
Click
for
screen.
us, yeah.
Click
Hey,
it.
click it. Yeah.
Click screen.
Share your
All
screen.
right.
That's what it fucking
Change
says.
windows.
No. What does it say on the top?
Stream quality.
Stop stream.
No, you want change windows, right?
No. Stop streaming and then put it back up again.
Oh, okay.
And then hit screen again.
Right. So hopefully we can get some of these
And then
videos.
click.
And then click on the screen you want.
Gotcha. All right. Perfect. Okay. All right. So we're going to get into a couple of quick videos here. Let's. Johnny, you still there?
Can I be in
No,
charge?
that was the
Yeah.
sound of him
Oh, okay.
watching your
Can
screen.
Can I be the one dedicated to trying to describe this for our audio listeners?
Why do you even try to do this knowing that you're...
Because sometimes it
Because
can
we're moving
work.
we're moving
This is
o-
what I want to help them with because there's some videos that can totally work,
Really?
Well,
and there's sometimes it's not.
I don't think you've seen this though.
No, I know, but I'm
She's
just
gonna
saying
explain
in the
it.
future,
Well, you
I
can
would
explain.
like to preview some of the
Alright.
visuals you'd like to
Well, if you
use.
edit
So-
this into a video, just put this video as we're talking.
Yeah.
All right. And Johnny, you can see.
Yeah, on YouTube. Just like we're gonna put
Yeah, I
the
can
video.
see.
Okay, great. So I
Can you
think
hear me?
Yeah, we
You
can hear
me,
you.
right?
we can hear you. So I think this is the reason that we found out why TikTok is going to be banned.
I'm sure it's TikTok is a strange beast. It really is.
So, yeah, go ahead and start explaining, Britt.
Okay, what the hell? Okay, so what we just witnessed was some woman climbing on a guy,
Did he shit on her?
climbing over his head.
Do we need to see that again? Because I think
And then on her descent down his back, she vomited everywhere.
no, she didn't vomit.
I think
He diarrhea'd.
Yeah.
He crapped.
He shit his
He
pants,
Watch.
and she's starting to dry heave.
Yeah, she's gagging on it. Yeah, it shoots out of his spandex shorts.
Did he just? Oh my gosh!
Hang on.
Oh my god.
That cannot be real.
That's real.
reaction
That's obviously
No,
something they used
I
to.
actually think that's extreme because I could have just said to the woman, "I don't like your cooking. It doesn't agree with me."
What made him feel like?
It was probably taking a lot of work to hold her up, and then
Yeah.
he just,
Yeah, but he was clearly sick.
I
Like
th-
that's not normal.
I think it's very obviously something they used to do when they were like young and fit and first in love, and it's like, let's do it again now. And she's
No, it's-
slightly bigger, and he's slightly more.
and he's like, I'm not
Oh,
feeling
my-
it. She's
my
like, you're never
tummy.
feeling up for it. And he's like, all right, fine,
I
I'll do it.
mean,
And I'll
it's
show it.
normal. Maybe like when you're doing some athletic exerting that you might fart, but that was the worst shart I've ever seen.
It was
Oh my
That-
God.
explosive.
Oh, it was
No,
explosive.
he
That
had
was pretty
Liquid
good.
diarrhea.
he had
That
that
was
prior.
crap. That was
Yeah.
really
That
bad. Like.
That reminded me of a video of there's this video I saw years ago where this woman's in a hot tub.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden you
Oh,
see her
yeah.
stand up, she grabs her stomach and just
Hot tub just goes brown.
Yeah.
liquid.
The water
looked
turns
just like-
brown.
The best reaction is
So
watching the people just
disgusting.
like fly out of that tub.
Yeah.
There's like one guy that's straight up just like, whoa, and then he just fucking
Yeah,
goes
we just
yeet,
lost
yeet
the
yourself
tackle
up
belly
20
count.
feet up in the
I
air.
mean, that's just such a bizarre thing to be like, I'm not feeling too well. But I'm gonna try and like
The
let
shit
you
happens.
climb over me like a jungle gym.
does, man.
The next video, here.
But I gotta say, his shit had perfect timing though.
And
like if he was gonna do it, that was
his
gonna
shit
be
could be
it.
a
That was
comedian.
gonna be the time.
Right on her
Right,
face.
right when her face was right beneath his asshole.
So the next video here is back when
So you got a brown shower rather than a golden shower. Okay.
yeah, maybe it was a king.
basically. So the next video here brings
Yeah,
us
not
back
for
to
her.
a more simple time of when I don't know if we've ever seen a video like this in our time, but apparently this was something for
Okay,
school
so
children.
before you
So-
start it,
No, just
no, it's, before you start it, let me describe.
no, you
so-
don't have to describe
no.
anything
No, why not?
because we can describe it as we go along. So hold on.
Okay, but
So let's go.
we're trying to watch it for the first time though.
Yeah,
so just
so-
Kid
let
in a
me.
bed. There's a kid in a bed.
There's a kid in the bed.
Well, I was just gonna say, from what I can gather before you start the video, it's obviously like like maybe a sex education video from like the 70s.
Yeah. The
And
video
that-
quality.
Yeah,
of
And
it.
it's
it's about-
definitely early 70s.
and
for
it's
the
about
haircut. The haircut,
masturbating.
That's gone out of.
It's
oh
about
my god.
We don't know
'Cause
this
it,
yet.
it felt good, didn't it?
This was
Ricky?
just sent to me by a friend of mine today, so I don't
That's
even
the
know what it
title
is.
of the video.
I'm guessing it's masturbation. A masterclass in 70s masturbation. I mean, education in 70s masturbation, not an
Masturbation
actual
education. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, not an
You
actual
have way too
masterclass.
much time on your hands, man. Way too much time on your
I
hands.
gotta agree with Johnny on this one.
Ba-boom, ba-boom.
Apparently, Ricky has
Your
plenty of
hands,
time on his hands here too, and other things on his hands.
Well,
Let's
one
watch.
hand.
This is fucking
Oh.
awful.
Oh
Wait.
my god.
He's having some sort of existential crisis the way he's
Creepy doll.
make love, not war on his. Yeah, it's definitely in 70s.
Rookie mistake. Didn't lock the
Yeah.
door.
Fucking Ricky locked the damn
Uh-oh.
door, kid.
Oh, excuse me, Ricky. Ricky, I did see what you were doing. It felt good, didn't it?
What the fuck?
It's all right. We all have feelings like this sometimes. I'm just glad you're doing this in the privacy of your own room.
Wait, you do it
When you're a
outside?
little bit older, we'll have to talk more about these feelings.
Yeah, he's
and
gonna
what
become a
causes
serial
them,
killer.
And how we can control these feelings.
Control.
That kid was Ricky Martin.
I'm sorry I intruded on your privacy. I'll be sure to knock next time.
Why does
okay?
Mom look like she
Wait,
has
does
no
Ricky
soul?
Martin have a history of public masturbation?
That's the thing. That's the thing about it. He'd be like,
Wait,
why
wait.
the fuck didn't you knock?
Yeah, right?
Okay,
Look at him. He's
His
trying to-
expressions
yeah.
just.
is there a glory hole behind him? What's on his wall?
I think that's
Oh,
a-
it's
There's like
probably
a
I'm
some,
hole
hoping
in
that was a
his wall.
clock or some sort
I
of
like how he
ornament.
lays. I like how he lays down.
probably
and
something
continues.
religious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He looks like he's propped up like in a medical bed that like you can elevate the back. Like that's what he
He
looks
lays
like.
down and continues.
This is the best angle of approach.
Yeah.
He lays down and continues like
Well,
his mob
might
gave
as
him
well
extra
leave it
ammunition.
local. Like, you might as well keep going if we're going to go. Like,
They really
Jesus
changed
Christ.
the story on this before, because usually I've seen a lot now where it's like the stepmom walks in and it's a whole different angle.
Yeah,
We're watching
Have
YouTube,
to
not
agree.
Pornhub.
What are you
No,
doing,
what-
step bro?
I have to.
on the back
Yeah, if that
end of
video
there
was
over
on-
the counter, I'm trying to figure out what is up there. Like, it's like, it looks like a tuna, like ramen or something. I have no idea what's up in the back end.
I just,
On
I
the
wish,
shelf behind
the
him.
listeners could see the face of the child in question.
Yeah, no,
I wish they could see the face of the
looked like-
mother. She had soulless eyes,
They
black
were-
eyes, like a doll's eyes.
No, they are both vacant and soulless creatures. Like
Well,
I
they're
don't even,
related.
I'm not even sure. Like I felt like some uncanny valley
Yeah, very
vibes from
uncanny
them.
Have you ever seen either of the two of
They
them
weren't
in
human.
any other role outside of this? Exactly. It's called bad actors.
That's true.
Good point.
Well, they look like mannequins.
They look like
Oh,
what?
there he is. No, that's the same kid.
Oh no, is it?
Whoa.
And this is the final video we'll play. I think D will appreciate this one just a little bit more than everybody else.
All right, let's see it.
When we refer to someone as yellow, we consider them to be what?
Oh God.
Chinese?
Not Chinese. Over to Jerry and Murray now. Yes, Jerry.
Cowardly.
Oh my God.
Wait, what did he say?
It's cowardly.
Cowardly.
Oh,
Cowardly was
yellow,
the answer,
yellow
but
belly.
it cuts over to this kid who is
Asian.
very Asian looking.
What do you call somebody who's yellow?
Chinese.
Chinese? No. Ha! You call them coward! Ha ha!
How does yellow mean coward?
So that's like
Yellow
that's
belly.
like-
belly.
that's like
Yellow
the way-
belly is
That's
like
like the way
It's
in
a-
England
yeah,
they used
it's
to say
an
for Dutch
English
courage.
slang.
that-
Why are you yellow?
That came for like for the sailing.
Oh, okay,
the
that makes
Dutch
sense.
Navy used to have to drink.
That question.
That's
just
funny.
to-
Urine.
to
Just like
know it,
green.
was the same
Green
idea.
means like new.
Ah,
or
okay.
something.
That question like reminds me of like a setup for like an anti-joke. Is when you go to your friends and you're like, "What do you call a black man in space?" And then I've actually had someone try and give an answer, and they gave it really quick, like almost too quick.
An
They're like an astronaut, and I'm like,
Afro-naut.
Whoa,
Yeah.
that's too
and
quick.
then, and then I was like, she did it quickly, and I was like, no, an astronaut, duh. Like it's just an anti-joke to like try and call
Oh.
your friends out for being racist. Like
Oh yeah, I said
it's like
astronaut.
duh.
All
Yeah,
right.
exactly. There you go.
Points for me.
Well, I did say it was an anti-joke,
You let
but
me into this.
Sorry.
but yeah, you like it's like a cruel like lead-in. Like we want to make you look
An
like an
Afro-naut.
asshole,
Yeah.
and that's exactly what that
Is
reminded
the
me
afro
of.
in the helmet or outside the helmet?
Oh, it
Gotta be
it's
inside.
once you take it off. It's,
Yeah. The
you
vacuum.
can you can
We-
compact an afro.
We used to have a terrible one. Oops, sorry, let me turn that down a little. Because that's the. We're coming
That's
to an
the-
end music.
It's over.
It's coming to an end. But we used to have one.
Free us from our
A,
misery.
a terrible, a terrible joke we used to have was what do you call an Italian astronaut?
An astronaut, duh.
No, a specimen. A specimen.
Wait, I don't get it. Oh,
Oh, there
I
it is.
get it now.
Of course you don't get it. I mean,
That's a spicy space man.
that's a spicy meat falling through the atmosphere.
That actually took me a few seconds to get to. I was like a
Gabagool.
specimen. I was like,
Shut up in your face.
shut up, will you shut up?
When my mother baked a pie like a big dough, I fell off that one.
Like a big O. Like the big O ring that burned up in the Challenger.
Holy shit!
Damn.
Damn, you're on fire
That
like
was,
those astronauts on Apollo 1.
Yeah.
Ooh,
The fact that was a very factually correct joke too.
very good.
That was probably
crappy
one of the
big O
funniest
that
science
leaked
jokes
fuel
ever.
everywhere.
It was called an intellectual joke. They call that.
Intellectual.
An
Thank you,
intellectual
thank
joke.
you.
Intellectual, contextual, sexual,
Yeah.
I don't know about
whatever it was.
sexual because it came from me, the fine, lovely lady of the
Yeah, the one
So
lady.
are you wrapping up? Are you wrapping up the Golden
I'm
Rod
wearing a
podcast?
condom. Don't you put? Don't. I'm wrapping up. Don't
Thank you
worry.
for listening to the Goldenrod podcast.
Yeah, this guy has a problem with knowing how to close the show.
No, I don't.
work
I'm
on
just
that.
letting the music run so we can all have our first shots at each other before we go do shots. Maybe anybody for shots?
Oh gosh.
Oh,
I mean, I
yeah.
drove here, but I don't know.
I know,
You
I know.
get him at a time.
I don't have shots, but you can hang around. You can hang out for a while.
I was planning on it.
Cool. Yeah. Cool. Awesome. Okay, ladies and gentlemen,
I save all my interesting conversation
inaugural
for after the
episode.
podcast.
Johnny, thanks very much, man, for ringing in with us. Please,
Not a problem.
actually come here next time, will you?
Yeah.
Awesome.
I know that. All right.
All right.
No matter.
We leave you go, buddy. Thank you very much. And you.
Good to see the whole lot of me. Love all. Stay safe.
Did you enjoy
Thank you,
looking at the
Johnny.
back of our
Cheers,
heads?
Johnny.
Yeah.
Have a good one. D, thank you very much. I'll release you of your coil now. You may get out of here. Thank you very much, sir. Jason.
No outro or anything. He's
Thank
just
you.
like, thank God. He just took his headphones straight off. He was like, give me phone, I'm out of this bitch.
Thanks for letting me join just spontaneously.
You're very welcome.
I
And Jason,
appreciate that.
thank you very much for coming across.
Oh,
Great
he
having you.
just goes back to
Thank
thanking
you.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Brittany, thank you for coming in. And ladies and gentlemen, that'll do it. The West of Waterford podcast. This is the first inaugural episode. Have a good evening. Take care. Love you. Bye-bye.
All good.